You stop by for the Nintenbyte. You got the Triforce and it feels right. Like Bowser, you can listen all night, singing peaches until the sun lights. Summer shoots her beam so bright. Master Hand always brings a fight. Catch 'em all and use that fire blast. Put the soul back to visit your past. Welcome to the Nintenbyte Podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Nintenbyte Podcast. I know it gets a little awkward there for a moment because I had to extend the intro because it kept cutting off. And then
you're all good. We were jamming in the background. You saw us sitting there during a little bit backstage.
Come in still framed. And it's like we're all just waiting and they can already see us. It's weird. Anyways, welcome back to the Nintenbyte Podcast, Season 2, Episode 10. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what's happening, guys. Between now and 1 week from now, you guys switch to, come on. 1 week from now, we have 3 podcast episodes of just the Nintenbyte Podcast. I'm on a podcast 3 nights in a row. This podcast, then another Nintenbyte Podcast tomorrow, and then the HMK Fifth Dimension on Friday.
That's right. I'll be there with you on Friday.
So, yeah, we got a lot going on, and what a surprise, because for the first time in Nintendo history, 2 general Nintendo Directs in less than a week.
Crazy.
How do you even... What do we even do with that? I don't even... What? Furukawa's a madman. I love him for it. The unexpected. That being said, obviously we'll be talking about that direct tomorrow, doing a little predictions on it. That's going to be like the last topic of the show because we already had plans for this week and we got to hit those plans.
Of course.
Let's first go around, just reintroduce everyone. Of course, this time with our special guest, Mr. Rogers Base.
All right. What's up? Happy to be back. Hopefully you're not burping over my bingo card this time around. We're good. Mister, I know your chat was saying, we got to make sure that he burps over it, but I just want you to know that if you burp over my bingo card, I see you sipping that Coke right now. Put that down, all right? What are you doing? If I see you doing it, I'll start force choking you. I'll pull my Kylo Ren powers out from the Smash reveal days, and I will force choke you.
Okay. Is this a Roger-approved drink?
That's fine. Sparkling water is fine.
Okay. Yeah. I'll sparkling water just for you, buddy. Just for you. So we got Rogers Base back on. Happy to have him back on. Hopefully we get him at least on one more time this year. He's got such a busy schedule, but
bro, it's nutty with the amount of travel.
We get this guy once a year, so come on. Then we got Mr. Gamebird. How you doing?
What is up? Stoked to be here. We got the One Piece himself joining us today. Super excited to have Rogers Base on the channel tonight. I'm a big fan of your channel for a while, man. So
thank you very much, Gamebird. Appreciate it. Give you a Nakama over here.
There we go.
There you go, Nakama.
We're about to fly too close to the sun with Nintendo, and Nintendo's getting a little unhinged this month, and I'm here for it. So I'm ready to soar like the bird that I am over tonight's topics.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's gonna be great. Then we got Eric Moore.
Hello.
Rocking a new look today. Glasses.
Yeah, I got bought some new blue light glasses for work, so I brought my old pair here, and
there we go.
I was gonna make a quick statement because he said rocking the new look. I'm like, you're literally wearing the same jersey you were wearing when I was on the last time. I was like, I remember.
Inspired.
Eric's got like 4 looks.
I know. I was just laughing. The glasses look good though.
For like 5 days, just like the same clothes every day.
Hey, I have 2 Nintenbyte shirts and a sweatshirt.
All right, then we got Thunderstash Gaming.
What's up, guys? It has been a busy week already, and in reality, nothing's happened yet. Right? Like it's just all been prepped in anticipation, hoping that, of course, the Switch 1 Direct was going to be announced, and then it was, and then prepping for that. And yeah, we got tonight, we got tomorrow. I'll be live with you tomorrow morning, and then the bonus, and then I'm going to be on Mike Odyssey's on Friday, and it's just like, dude, it's going to be nonstop from here on out, but it's going to be so much fun.
It's hype. Yeah, it's all good stuff.
Yeah,
exactly.
See, this is the kind of work we like. This is fun. I like fun. I don't like panic work. This is just, yes. Give me all
it's just excitement. This is all the stuff we've been talking about for a year. Finally
forever.
Coming to a head.
You guys know what's up. I'm Nintendo Prime, and we're going to get to our mini topic roulette. The first topic, of course, we already know is Thunderstash doing our final retrospective. So that's going to be interesting because it's the Switch. That's right.
Yeah.
We're all the way up to Switch, the
Very
final
good.
one before Switch 2. So we're going to do that. And then we have some Nintendo Direct bingo stuff going on today, guys. If you guys already want to enter, by the way, people can enter their own bingo cards. We have a link pinned. You guys go to that pinned link. You can check it out. You can submit your bingo cards and maybe win some prizes. Everything's
Nice.
explained in the link for you guys in the audience. Enter all the way until the end of the first. So I'll probably talk about it on a few more. We have a sixth member of the podcast today. Yeah, there we go. Get the doggy over. Come here, boy. doesn't want to go. He's gonna. Nah, you don't get the bark and not come on. Anyways, also just as a note, and I probably shouldn't say this publicly, but it already happened on my Discord server. Because of there being a direct tomorrow night, every $10 super chat during the show, a shot of haters' tears is going down. I just want to let you guys know how great I feel today.
Oh Lord.
With the announcement of a general Nintendo Direct, because some of you, not everyone in the audience, but some of you out there were saying some real nasty words about me even covering the rumors. So we're gonna have some fun tonight. That's what we're gonna do. So we don't know Stash as topic number 1. Who wants to take? Let's see. Between Eric and Gamer, which one do you want to take the bingo lead? Let me guess. You'd rather toss it to me?
Whatever.
Doesn't need to start.
Yeah,
That's all right. I'll fine. I'll do the bingo. Who
you
wants
got the most bingo experience here. How
How are we supposed to do that, by
You're
the
the
way? Because
bingo
I
man.
made mine and then I sent it to you.
You're good. You're good.
Okay. So you're going to put it up on screen then?
Yeah, it'll all make sense when we get
Cool.
to the section, okay?
Cool. Okay.
That being said, you know what? Screw it. Let's just get to the first topic. We'll worry about who's hosting that last topic when we get there. So, Stash.
All right.
Oh, here we
do
go.
it.
Oh, it's ready. Oh, baby. I can't wait to see this PowerPoint.
All right,
Oh, look at
guys.
this.
So here we go. Again, this is the final launch retrospective until the next console. So this could be a really long time. So soak it in, enjoy it. Again, I'm going to just go through this real quick, do a little recap. So again, the whole point of this was to, of course, build up the hype and the excitement for the big April 2nd Nintendo Direct, but also so we could learn from the past. And sometimes the past gets a little hazy, right? Especially when you think about it. It's like Nintendo 64, that's going to be 30 years old next year.
Whew.
That's hard. That's a tough pill to swallow, right? And so things get a little hazy once you go to like Super Nintendo and trying to remember, what games came out at launch and which ones were in the 9-month launch window. So you're trying to remember dates from like 1991, 92 now. So again, that's why we can learn from a lot of things here, because there are patterns to be found here. And again, it'd be remiss if we didn't stop at Reggie. And Roger, since you're our guest this week, and I did see you have a picture with Reggie himself.
I do. Yeah, I've met Reggie multiple times. Lovely
Which
guy. Follows me on Twitter, actually, which is crazy.
I thought that was so
Wow.
cool.
I love that.
Like, man, that's badass. What a great picture. Would you do the honor this week as our guest to just please read the classic
course.
quote?
Of course. My name is Reggie. I'm about kicking ass. I'm about taking names. And we're about making games. Reggie
Well said, man.
Fils-Aimé, E3 2004.
You said it just like he said it. Actually,
That was
It
why I did it.
uncanny.
I know. Yeah,
That was
right.
uncanny.
spot on, man.
Beautiful.
And again, just some classic adverts here. So our first week we did Nintendo, the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color. Went through all of the launch titles again from back in 1985, which is when the NES launched, and that was also my launch year. And then we have the Game Boy Color. Again, every time I look at that beautiful Game Boy box,
I love it.
I wish we
Atomic
did stuff
Purple
like
as
this.
well. Oh,
So good, so good. But again, you guys start to see a lot of patterns here. Baseball and tennis. You got baseball and tennis here. You got Tetris here, right? You got Tetris here.
Yep.
Bomberman, he's there a lot. And then, of course, we move on to Hiroshi Yamauchi. And this is very true. We've all learned this, right? Over the years.
Yep.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it rings truer now in 2025 than it did when he
Definitely.
said this originally.
Definitely. You got Grums tweeting out constantly. I mean, he knows nothing about games, and there you go. He's in the industry. Yeah.
Whoa. So get Grubbs and Rogers on the same podcast. Got it.
You're never going to find me in the same room with that asshole. Never going to happen.
I don't think he'll be in the same room with me either.
Yeah, right.
And then you got the Super Nintendo. And again, we all had very fond memories. The jump from the NES to the SNES was insane on so many levels, graphics, music, gameplay. You got the shoulder buttons now. Yoshi's in the scene. F-Zero with the Mode 7 graphics. Same with Pilot Wings. You got SimCity jumping from the PC, from the Mac, right? To
Keep this in mind, by the way.
SNES.
The font of this SimCity, keep this in mind for the bingo conversation. I'm going to say. It'll make sense. I know Nintendo Prime knows what I'm talking about, but
Okay.
just remember that font and remember the SimCity. That's it.
Okay. I'm excited to see what that is now.
It is what it is.
We got our launch window games, and again, this was such a stellar launch lineup. If you look at it, there's so many bases covered. You got football, you got Super Off Road with a nice racing game, Super Castlevania 4, obviously, Zelda, but you got Final Fantasy, Final Fight, Contra, Super Adventure Island. You even have Ys.
So good.
Yeah,
Excellent.
So good.
excellent. You got Paperboy 2, which just love the box art. That is just pure 90s right there. It's so good. And the Super Scope, the thing that seems like none of us got to spend any quality time with.
No, a little before my time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you brought this up. Look at this.
Oh, good.
All right. Please continue. Please continue.
Oh, nice. You got it.
All right. Let's see. What do you got for me, Thunderstash?
Well, okay, Roger, since you have it,
Uh,
what games, briefly, have you played these games?
I've played Tetris, Mario Clash. I've actually played the baseball game, though I don't know if it's the same as the Japanese one. I literally have the boxes right over here because I just did a video. Because fun fact, people, this year is actually the 30th anniversary of the Virtual Boy.
Yep.
It came out, I think, in June
Yep.
of 1995, right? Originally. So
Yep.
You got V Tetris right over here. I've got, this is Chemco Baseball right here.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've got Virtual Force, which is really cool, like top-down shooter right there. And then last but not least, Mario Clash. And the only other one that I want that I don't have, actually, there's two other ones. One is a gag. I want Waterworld because I love that movie. despite the
Yeah,
fact that It's
right.
garbage. I love. But the other one is the Wario Land. Obviously,
Yeah.
everyone always
Yeah.
says Wario Land's incredible, but that game is crazy expensive, so I'll pass for now.
It is really fun, the Wario Land game. And yeah, we talked about Waterworld too. And just how funny it is. I don't know about you, Roger, but have you been to the Universal?
Oh, it's the best thing. Every time
Dude,
I go to
it's the
Universal, I
best.
always go to the Waterworld thing. Always.
It's fantastic.
I love it. Yeah.
It's so good. So I've only been to Universal once, and the girl I was with, she's like, "Hey, we got to go see, the Waterworld." And I'm like, "Really? Yeah,
Yes.
like for real?" She's like, "Yeah, it's so cool." I'm like, "Okay. I mean, hey, if you're saying it's great, like that's great to
It
hear."
really-
They have
I'd
it.
love
They
to
have
see
it still in Orlando as well, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't go to. I
don't
did
know,
it in
actually.
California, but
Yeah,
man,
yeah, because the whole thing with California, the reason why it's so good is that they actually use stuntmen from
Yeah.
that are like off basically when they're not filming, that are with
Yeah.
Universal and contracted Universal to be in the show. So everyone in it's like super professional and they're able to
Yeah.
do all their flips. It's
Great
awesome.
actors too. that they
awesome
used for the
actors.
show.
Okay.
Fantastic actors. Yeah.
This makes so much more sense now, as into why it was so high quality.
That's
Like I
why.
literally walked away. I was like, this is badass. Like
Yeah.
anytime I go to Universal, I don't care. I'm making time for Waterworld. It doesn't
That's right.
matter. Yeah. You should get that game. That was a gag for sure.
I will most definitely get Waterworld at some point. Yeah.
But even if you guys look at this, again, you have Bomberman here. It's called Panic Bomber, but obviously it's Bomberman. I'm not
That's right.
sure why they went away from the Bomberman name, because it had so much respect on the Super Nintendo. So like, why would you abandon it? Don't know the story behind that. But again, a lot of familiar. You got Tetris here again. And then of course we move on to the N64, again, releasing September 1996. A lot of our lives changed when this happened.
That's right.
Yeah. And two launch titles. And somehow it was enough. It was enough, man, because they were just so amazing. And then that launch lineup, again, killer. So many bases covered here, right?
Wave Race 64, Killer Instinct, Star Fox 64. Awesome. Mario Kart, obviously.
Yeah. Blast
So
Corps
good.
was badass.
Yep.
Shadows of the Empire. Yeah. Star Fox with the Rumble Pack was
So
obviously
good.
great.
So
NBA
good.
Hang Time, the successor to NBA Jam. Even Doom 64 is badass. It's still great. MK Trilogy was actually great too, because there was no load times. You're on PlayStation, you're waiting a while to start that fight. And again, here we are with Mr. Iwata. And again, this is one of those quotes that just like, I think has rang much truer over the last, 3 to 5 years? You think about all the layoffs in the industry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just very true. Anywhere you work in life, I think I've had plenty of jobs, especially like in mortgage, when the rates go up and then you have to start laying people off because the mortgage rates go up. It's not because they're bad employees, but it's because, it's things out of your control. And when people feel like they don't have any job security, they can't make the best games in the world, just like you can't perform your best at work. So this makes a lot of sense and rings true for me. GBA, again, this came out in June 2000, June 2001. And this was when I was in summer school. I had this for summer school, and it made summer school so much more awesome. It was in Mr. G's class, Mr. Glassman. And again, this is the substitute teacher that took us to see A Knight's Tale in the theater. And he took us to see Gladiator in the theater because it was it was world history. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Totally badass teachers, so cool. But yeah, I got plenty of quality time in. I always give a shout out to Tony Hawk on GBA. It was surprisingly extremely good.
Oh, yeah.
And
Pino B. You got Pino B on there, too.
yeah, a lot of people don't know about that.
Pino B. Wings of Adventure, man. Yeah, that was my jam when I was a little kid.
Yeah, it was solid for sure. And of course, got to give the shout out to the Warm Light here.
Of course, absolutely.
Helped us through a lot of dark times. And then, yeah, here we are again. Launch window. What do you see, guys? Tetris?
That's right.
Bomberman?
Mario Kart.
Yep. Mario Kart, Street Fighter. Street Fighter's there often.
Bomberman's again.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Final Fight again. Final Fight was in the Super Nintendo launch window. Cruisin' again. Mortal Kombat again. Doom again. I mean,
Was that
crazy.
cruising game? I've never even seen the GBA cruising game. Was that developed by Nintendo? Or was this like when Acclaim had the rights?
This
by
was
that
Midway
point?
still.
Midway. Okay.
Yeah, Midway was always there at launch for them. Acclaim was there with NBA Jam, but yeah.
Yep.
A lot of great ones. Warrior Land 4. This is a game, of course, a lot of people are enjoying for the first time because of NSO, and they're like, damn, this game's really good.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It's good to see. Then we got the Cube.
Oh,
Yeah, and
It's a beautiful launch. That is
It
a
was.
beautiful launch. Roger, last time when we were talking about the GameCube, I was saying how I was so disappointed as a kid when I found out that it wasn't going to be called the Nintendo Dolphin. For whatever reason, as a kid, I just thought that was the sickest
dolphin was the coolest name.
It was the
Yeah,
sickest.
it was just so sick.
Well, one of the fun things, if you ever make your way out to Kyoto to go to the Nintendo Museum, I think we talked about it a little bit last time I was on, but they have the prototype GameCube back when it was still Dolphin, and the symbol on the top, like on the little jewel that's on the top, is actually a G that is in the N64 N font, which is very bizarre. But that's one of the things that's available.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get out there. I've been to Japan twice, but unfortunately before the Nintendo Museum was
sure.
a thing. So
Just a good
just
excuse
another excuse to go again. Yep,
exactly.
absolutely.
Of course, with this launch, there's a little bit of controversy because it's like, where's Mario? Where's Mario at the launch?
He's right there, Luigi.
Right, because but we always had Mario, and everyone's like, oh, all right. Well, I mean, we'll see how Luigi's Mansion is, and of course, a lot of us ended up really enjoying the game. But this was the first console launch without a Mario game, without Mario in the actual title. But a lot of mainstays now. You look at Super Monkey Ball, right? Still going strong in 2025. It got a new game last year. A lot of these have fallen off, though. Dave Mira, he's gone. Tony Hawk's still around. Tony Hawk 3. Would not be surprised to see Tony Hawk 3 and 4 as a Switch 2 launch title.
Sure. Yeah, bring things back around. I will say to this day, Rogue Leader is the most impressed I have ever been with a new console launch from like generation to generation leap.
Same.
I feel like I have not felt that same jump between generations since this. And I've looked for it actively. I feel like there are moments where things get close. And obviously games progressively have gotten more and more beautiful. But I think as somebody who played on N64, loved the original Rogue Squadron. At the time, Rogue Squadron looked great on N64, right? Came out in 1998, looked really good.
Yep.
And then you see Rogue Leader, and it literally looks like the movies. And your mind is just blown as a little kid.
Wild.
It's such a shame that, Factor 5 has shut down and that like they aren't making more Rogue Squadron, Rogue Leader games. It's like I would love a new one of these, man.
Yep.
So good.
We talk about this game a lot. Like for instance, I'd go to myself, my friends, my girlfriend, we'd all go to Best Buy after school and go play Rogue Squadron in the weeks leading up to the GameCube launch because they had it there on demo, and it was just like, this is insane. This is the future. Yeah. And we already felt that like when we did the jump from SNES to 64. But then from going from 64, again, like you said, playing Rogue Squadron to playing Rogue Leader, is like, this looks like the movie, dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Wave Race too. People always forget how beautiful Wave Race was at the water and everything as well. Yeah, great game.
Roger, did you ever measure? We talked about this on the last couple episodes, how a lot of us kind of measured like graphical fidelity by how good the water looked. And it was this gen. It was Wave Race and Mario Sunshine that was like, oh my God, this water. And that was like the tell of like, well, what's the water look like?
That era, I think in general, not just even on GameCube, but like with GameCube, PS2, Xbox, all of those games, there was sort of this weird like tropical kind of theming that happened in that era. When you look between like Sonic Adventure, the way that game opens with the giant killer whale, you've got like Mario Sunshine, same thing. Wave Race, another good example. Final Fantasy X, right?
Kingdom
with like
Hearts.
all the stuff with Blitzball, Kingdom Hearts, exactly. There's a lot of stuff with water where that just seemed to be the the theming of the time. I miss it.
I do too.
I miss the tropical vibes.
I do too. I miss talking about water graphics and being like, hey, dude, you got to check out the water graphics in this game.
To be fair, that one kid was holding it down on Miiverse for years, saying, look at the water in Lego City Undercover. Look at the water in, Wind Waker. There was that one kid who like constantly was reposting the water photos.
I love it.
That's awesome, dude.
Shout out to Water Kid.
Hell yeah.
I recently replayed Wave Race Blue Storm with HD texture pack.
Nice. Oh, cool.
Beautiful.
Love that game.
I know. Then here's our launch window. And once again, like there's a lot of familiarity here. You got Bomberman again.
Tetris.
You got Monkey Ball. Just there's a lot of the same games throughout the years. And these are things that like you almost like relearn again going through this launch window.
You put all these games in Beach Spikers.
Have you played it? Have you played it?
I've not played
Okay,
Beach
I
Spikers.
put in there for a reason.
Is it
'cause
good?
This game's legit good.
Really? I'm gonna type this in.
Legit.
Beach Spikers GameCube.
Yes, legit. It's by Sega. It's the same developer that
By
did.
Sega.
Yeah, they did Virtual Tennis. Same developer. Virtual
What?
Tennis is badass.
Okay.
Yeah, I swear to you, very good game.
Oh yeah, Virtua Beach Volleyball, Beach Spikers, produced by Yu Suzuki.
Yeah,
What in the world? How have I never heard of this?
dude, I had this game pre-ordered back in the day when I heard it was being developed by the same team that did Virtua Tennis, and I remember seeing I think it was screenshots on IGN. I might have been able to watch a video.
It's got like a 76 Metacritic, a lot of 8s. A lot of people seem to enjoy it. That's surprising. I've never heard of this.
It's very fun. It's addicting. It's a good time, man.
All right,
I think you'll like it.
locking it in.
But again, like all these games, there was other games in the launch window, but I picked these ones as really the cream of the crop. And
Dude,
there's just a
Pikmin,
lot.
man.
First Pikmin is so good.
Yeah.
All
And
the
yeah.
Pikmin games are good, to be fair.
You had NCAA football,
Mhm.
which was a
Right.
big deal.
That's right. Big deal at the time.
Yeah. Obviously, Eternal Darkness,
Yep.
wonderful game. Yeah, the Resident Evil, the original, the OG Resident Evil remake.
Yeah. That again
The first
looks amazing today.
Still are, yeah.
Like it
still
holds
so
up so well.
good. So a lot of gems there. Sonic Adventure 2. This was the first time Sonic came to a console other than Sega. Because we got Sonic Adventure 2 first, and then we got Sonic Adventure 1 DX like a year later. So this was the first time Sonic was on a Nintendo console. It was on the GBA earlier, I think, that year. But yeah, that was
Sonic
a
Advance.
huge deal. Yeah. Then we jump over to the Wii and the DS. And again, we got this great quote by Mr. Miyamoto. And again, I think as we get older, right, this quote kind of rings more true. The more we think we have to act like adults, the more life kind of drains the fun away. And you don't have to
Totally.
act that way. Yeah, you can be a kid at heart and get shit done still too.
That's right.
Then we got the Wii launch titles here, and it was a good time, right? It was a great time. I remember camping out for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at Best Buy with friends, and playing Smash Brothers Melee on the projector on the wall of Best Buy. Like
Nice.
just a lot of really good memories. And Roger, were you here for all of the Wii stuff?
Oh my God. Yeah. I
Like
mean, I absolutely
going hard,
adore the
right?
Wii. The problem was at the time. So I had my first system was N64, got a Game Boy Color the next holiday, Game Boy Advance, GameCube. Like that was my
Beautiful.
line. And then at that point, when the Wii was coming out, I believe I was a sophomore in high school. And I was doing good in school except for math. And my parents are like, we're not going to get you a Wii unless you do well in math.
Oof.
And I did terribly in math. And so what happened was the next year when Battle Revolution came out, there was like a tournament at my local GameStop where if you win the tournament, you get a copy of Battle Revolution for free. And so what I did is I Game Sharked the hell out of my DS. I put like infinite PP, max HP, whatever on all of my Pokemon. I entered the tournament. I beat all these 10-year-olds. I won my copy of Battle Revolution. I came back home and I said, hey, I got this copy of Battle Revolution for free, but I don't have anything to play it on. Like, could I please get the Wii now? Like my grades have improved. And my parents took me out to Best Buy and I got a Wii. It was a year later, but it was worth it.
Nice.
That's
I
awesome,
love
dude.
it. Like taking candy from a baby.
Literally.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were 10-year-olds in this case, but yeah, same difference.
Same difference. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Oh, that's great.
A lot of familiarity here, right? Again, Tony Hawk's back for the Wii launch. Monkey Ball's back for the Wii launch. Ubisoft is there always. Ubisoft, tons of games from them. But of course, the big highlight for everybody was Wii Sports and Twilight Princess.
Yep.
But what a time to be alive! Motion controls, man. They actually did it.
Just the vibe of this era too, I think is still kind of this day unmatched. It was like I know there's a name for the theming, but it's like all the whites and the blues That like
Yeah.
semi-futuristic turn of the 2000s, what people thought the future was going to look like the
Yeah.
ideal world,
Yep.
and everything looking all pristine. And it's like we
Yeah.
emulated that perfectly with the soft blue glow, like when it was downloading updates overnight, or you get your little messages. There's the look of the system
Beautiful.
itself. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and might I add, I really did enjoy the Nintendo Revolution name.
I did too as well.
It
Yeah.
was super hype. And
Do you ever go back and watch the old Revolution press conference, like where Iwata's talking about it for the first time?
actually, I have. Yeah.
I love doing that, where he's like, even when he brings up Virtual Console, where he's like, go back to the first Punch Out, Excite Bike, or Earthbound, and make us all feel young again. I'm like, dude,
It's so good.
Yeah,
excellent.
it brings me back because I remember watching that live and seeing the whole bit about the Virtual Console and how excited I was. And we talk about this too. Like I would be hanging out over at like planetgamecube.com. That was a website I went to for years.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, with I think Billy Berghammer was running that. I used to go to like a Nintendo Dojo back in the day. There were so many great fan websites I went to like on a regular basis. Go Nintendo.com. But I still remember being in the forums and seeing a leak about accelerometers being possibly in the controller, and everyone's like, oh, that's bullshit. There's no way. And I'm like, well, I mean, this looks legit. And of course, ended up being legit. But again, that's why it's like when we hear some of the rumors we hear today and people immediately brush them off, it's like, oh, you never know, man. If you've been around long enough, you've seen some crazy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Again, familiarity, guys. Mortal Kombat, right? Sonic again. Tons of Ubisoft.
Yep. Man, it sucks because I feel like the Wii today gets kind of a bad rap. A lot of people are obviously over motion controls and some of the little bit more gimmicky nature of this generation. But man, when you look back and you think about some of the special games that we got on that console, both first party and third party, there was a lot of really phenomenal experiences, and arguably, one of the best 3D Mario games with Galaxy 1 and 2.
I agree completely.
It's just a great console. There's so many games from this gen that I really wanted to come to Switch. I hope come to Switch 2 at some point that have been forgotten. Games like Zack and Wiki, a Capcom gem that a lot of people never got to play.
Great game. Great game.
Yeah, Wario Land Shake It. Fantastic. And then Mad World, another fantastic one.
Right.
Black and white with the blood. Yeah, just a special generation. So I actually feel like today it's an underrated system.
I agree completely in that.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
And then here's our shovelware highlights.
Gremlins Gizmo. I've never even seen half of these.
Dude,
M&M Party, Pajama Party.
Roger, look at the top row.
All horse games.
It's all horse games.
Look, the horse girlies need to have something to play. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's a lot, though.
That's a lot of horse games. The one that's confusing me is second row 3 in from the right, which is Cold Stone Creamery. What is that on the bottom?
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, how do they have a game? Are you serious?
Cold Stone Creamery game? Is like what is it? What is that, a party game? Like, is it a food challenge thing? I don't understand.
I don't know. Do you use like the Wiimote to scoop ice cream, maybe?
I'm gonna look this up. Cold Stone Creamery Wii.
And you shake the remote to like put sprinkles on the ice cream?
Oh, it's called Scoop It Up. Players jump behind the counter to make custom creations, choosing 25 ice cream flavors and yummy mix-ins. Travel the world making creamy. I don't want to read the rest of this. What in the world?
I like when you say creamy. You can keep going.
Yeah. Oh Lord!
But did you see? They have three.
Ridiculous.
They have 3 Chuck E. Cheese games. They have a Chuck E. Cheese trilogy.
Where is the chat? I'll put this in here. There's the link to Cold Stone Creamery if you want to see.
Calvin Tucker's Redneck Jamboree. And then one of these games I actually ended up buying.
Wait, let's see if Roger can guess. Guess the game.
Can you guess what game I bought?
Guess the game.
Guess the game you bought.
Yeah, I just bought it. It came in last
factory sealed as well.
You bought this game factory sealed from this list.
Yeah, and I bought it because I was making this list, and I'm like, oh my god, I didn't know they made a game for this IP?
Part of me wants to say Grey's Anatomy. I think you might have bought the Grey's Anatomy game.
No, I've never even seen it. I've never seen an
It was
episode.
it was a good guess though.
What was it? Which one did you get?
So remember, I'm an 80s kid, so it's
Gizmo?
no, you may not even know this was an 80s cartoon, but it's right here. It's called Heathcliff.
Oh, I know Heathcliff.
The Fast and the Furriest.
Oh my god.
You're welcome again
Yeah.
for finding that on eBay for
Yes. Thank
Heathcliff
you.
Wee. I'm typing this in right now too to see what the gameplay looks like. The Fast and the Furriest. Okay.
Yeah, I have, it's funny. I didn't even look at the gameplay. So
It
I'm kind
looks-
of glad you are.
It looks pretty bad. I gotta be honest
Yeah,
with you.
I'm sure it is.
First, it's a racing game. It looks like it's trying to be like a Mario Kart / Simpsons Hit and Run. And you're racing with Heathcliff and friends around the neighborhood that looks straight out of Family Guy. That's what the game is.
As long as you're terrorizing neighborhoods, that's all that matters, right?
Here you go.
They
He's shooting missiles at houses. So
it sounds decent enough, but I don't want to open it. I do want to keep it factory sealed. But the more you
There you
talk
go.
about it, the more I'm going to want to open it. So,
Oh boy.
all right. So then we got the DS. We got the classic picture here of Reggie holding up the DS out when he
Beautiful.
pulled it out of his jacket, which was so awesome. Because again, this was one of those consoles where we heard about it so much in the rumors. They're talking about 2 screens and one of them being a touch screen and a stylus. And people are like, there's no way. There's no way Nintendo's going to do that. And then they did. And the rest is history, right? Moving on. We have the launch window highlights here. The introduction of Nintendogs. Again, who do you got here? Bomberman. He's almost always there. You have your puzzle game, Meteos. It replaced Tetris this time. You have Ubisoft support, Splinter Cell, Rayman, and you got EA here, Need for Speed, GoldenEye, Madden. So a lot of familiarity across the board. WarioWare is
Nintendogs
almost
as well.
always there. Yeah, classic.
Yep.
All good times here. Then we jump to the Wii U and the 3DS, and we got this great quote by Sakurai, and I think this one rings true just because we all know how hard this guy worked on Smash Brothers, and to add all those characters in and to balance the game every time. Very appreciative of him. And then the 3DS. Again, this was once again another one of those consoles where you read the rumors leading up to it, and you're like, there's no way. How are they going to do 3D without glasses?
Mhm.
That's
that was
insane.
a mind-blowing. Seeing that at E3 for the first time, being in the audience, and then having them literally like have all these demonstrators come out from the stage with it attached to their hip, and then we have to like play the game while standing right next to them with this little rope, and seeing it for the first time, like actually hearing about it, but actually visually seeing like the dogs jumping at you, or like Kid Icarus was obviously one of the things they demoed, or like they had the original version of Sticker Star before it was Sticker Star and it still had the partners in it, like all these other different things. It was mind-blowing to see it in 3D.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. And we talked about it before, but like Nate, I think you said, Nate, you were there for the launch, right? So you ended up getting the ambassador certificate.
Yep.
Which was
Nice.
awesome. Like the
That
fact
was
that
also
Nintendo, you're giving us 20 games, and some of these games aren't even available to the general public. Like you couldn't buy Metroid Fusion for a long time.
Mm-mm.
And it's like, you're just giving this to us because we're a day one adopter. Like that's amazing. That was so
a lot
cool.
of those games I don't even think have gotten re-released on Virtual Console or NSO yet.
No.
Yeah.
No, they haven't. So yeah, be interested to see if we see any of them possibly tomorrow.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So again, the launch lineup, we talked about it before. No real killer app, which was unfortunate because Nintendogs and Cats, that's not going to be your killer app. And Pilot
Okay,
Wings,
still a Steel Diver, bro. How did you forget about Steel Diver?
yeah, right. I didn't even buy that at launch. I skipped that one. I knew I didn't want that. But there's a lot of great B titles, but just no killer app here until, of course, we get into the launch window, which the launch window it's pretty damn stellar, especially from the first party. I mean, you got obviously Zelda, Mario Kart,
Star Fox 64.
yeah, which was great in 3D, and Super Mario 3D Land, as we all know, like showed off the stereoscopic 3D so good.
Yep.
The level design and everything for that was great. You had Resident Evil, Mercenaries, again Tetris. It's always there at launch or the launch window. Splinter Cell was almost always there. Ubisoft in full force. Who can forget Michael Jackson, The Experience in 3D? And we had a lot of great eShop titles: Pushmo, Excitebike, and Kirby's Adventure. The NES games redone in 3D were very cool. And then moving on to the Wii U. The Wii U, again, this is insane. It had like 35 launch titles. It's just wild that it didn't do better with all these great launch games.
35 games and still no games on the Wii U. Incredible. How's that work?
Insane.
How's that work?
Yeah, it's nuts, man. But yeah,
No
they were
killer
there in
app
full force.
again.
No killer app here, because here's the thing, like at this time we were all tired of these sterile new Super Mario Brothers U.
Yeah,
It didn't
for
feel
sure.
new anymore at all. And we had just got new Super Mario Brothers 2 on the 3DS
Yep.
earlier that year. I think we got it in June or July. So it's like, man, this formula is we're over it at this point.
I will say Nintendo Land was excellent, though. I feel like that was
Yeah.
them bundling that in. I thought was really cool with the deluxe edition, and I did spend a lot of time with that game. That was pretty much like the game. I played that, and I played. You know, they did that program where it was like 10 cents or something, and you would get a virtual console game, or it was like $1 to get a game of the month.
Convert
or
it
something.
over.
Yeah. So I remember for like the first year of Wii U, I literally just had Nintendo Land and the virtual console games that were once a month. And I would just swap between them and play Wii games because it was backwards compatible with Wii games. So that's how I played like the first Xenoblade Chronicles was I had my Wii disc of it and played it in my Wii U. And it was essentially just, or that like Monster Hunter Tri was another one because the servers were still up at that point. So I was playing a bunch of Tri on my Wii U. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I had a similar experience, Roger. This is actually the first Nintendo mainline console that I didn't go for day one. I actually
really?
waited on those, but I had a buddy who had picked it up, and I went over to his place. He had two other friends over. They were playing Nintendo Land.
I love it.
I had so much fun that I put together some money and literally that weekend went out and bought Nintendo Land, and then used it as that to play with friends, and then was doing the virtual console stuff and some of my backlot games from the Wii. So I had kind of a similar early experience with it until
Nice.
some of the good stuff rolling out, which it did.
How many of you guys still have Wii U's?
I do.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I still
Dang.
got games on my shelf behind me.
Wow. I always feel weird whenever I bring that up, that it's like that's the one console I've gotten rid of and I have not regretted getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Especially now. Xenoblade X is on, Switch now and it runs way better and has lots of quality of life improvements. Donkey Kong's on there too. It's like Smash. I've always preferred the 3DS version. So it's like if I want to play Smash 4, I'll play that instead. But
It's like a piece
hard
of
for me to
history
let
now.
go.
yeah.
It's hard for me to let go of my Nintendo consoles.
I feel
Yeah.
that. Did
So
any
many
of you have the
memories.
special edition ones like the Wind Waker one? Because I think if
No,
I had
I wish.
if I had a special edition, I probably wouldn't have gotten rid of it. But because it was just like the day one regular deluxe one, I was like, I have no need for this.
Yeah, I still have my day one Wii U.
Nice.
I still have my
Nice.
box
Same.
too.
Very
And
nice.
then the launch window highlights. And I had to put again DuckTales Remastered center stage because this game is just so good. But not a lot to love here. We got new Super Luigi U, which if you didn't like new Super Mario Brothers U, what was the draw to this game, right?
I think Obi was trying to say he likes Injustice or something. But I'm gonna go put him down for a second because he's going crazy now.
What Resident Evil Revelations that had already came out on 3DS.
Yep.
So if you had a 3DS, that wasn't something to get excited about. 007 Legends was just trying to boost off of the 007 IP, not, the actual like GoldenEye IP. I think they tried to make it look like that, but terrible game. So yeah, the launch window is weak, so weak. And there we go, guys. So that is the recap. Now we are to the final one, which is Switch 1. We're just going over Switch 1, and then we're jumping in to our predictions.
Beautiful.
It is going to be fun. So here's our quotes. These are the final quotes. Gamebird, can you read one of these quotes for us?
Absolutely. The flow of time is always cruel. Its speed seems different for each person. No one can change it. A thing that does not change with time is a memory of younger days.
Thank you. I thought this would
Beautiful.
be a good quote because it's a retrospective. We can't change time. Time keeps moving on. More consoles are going to keep coming out. This is how the world works, man. And then, Nate, could you read the Switch successor quote?
Sure can. This comes from the current president, Shintaro Furukawa. Switch successor, I only know success, and it is not built in a day.
Definitely not his quote. No way.
Yeah.
Not. Somehow I feel like that's not a thing he said.
Pretty badass, though.
That's a good line.
Look at that.
Good
Look
line.
at the power in that man's eyes, too. That's a real photo, by the way.
Hey man, it's got the Nintendo seal of approval. So
Yeah, slap that on there. And here we have it. Now, let me ask you guys: do you remember the lead up to the Switch? Like some of the, I guess you could say, social media stuff, like back when Reggie was appearing on Jimmy Fallon back in the day, like on a regular basis to show new
right.
Nintendo stuff.
Oh man.
Loved it.
Yeah, that was so cool. Like that was an episode that back then I watched Jimmy Fallon all the time, but I remember thinking, how cool is it that Reggie goes on Jimmy Fallon on a regular basis? Because Jimmy's, just this old school, 80s Nintendo gamer like us. So that was a lot of fun. Again, guys, Bomberman's there.
He's always all
there.
reliable.
Yeah. But five games, small launch lineup. One of the smallest of all time. Did anyone get Skylanders?
I did not.
No.
On day one, I didn't.
Though
You are forgetting a launch title that's in there though. That was there day one. Snipper Clips.
Yeah,
Snipper Clips was there. I Am Setsuna was there day one as well.
I didn't put the digital.
I feel that makes sense. Yeah. in
Snipper
terms of
Clips.
physical games.
Snipper Clips Plus came out.
Right. But the original
later on,
game was
physical.
only on. Correct. Yeah, it was only
Yeah.
on the eShop. Yeah.
Yeah. Great game, too.
They just figured, look, all you need is Breath of the Wild. You don't need other stuff. You got Mario Kart in a month. You got Splatoon in 2 months. You got Odyssey at the end of the year.
To be fair, they weren't wrong.
Xenoblade, you're fine. No, they weren't wrong. It
No,
was fine.
I mean,
yeah.
people had Zelda and didn't even have a system. So
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Zelda.
That is like the
Yeah,
first time.
very good point, Eric.
More copies of the game sold than systems existed at launch. That is
Yeah.
insane.
That
People
is
bought it
insane.
just knowing they were going to buy the system. I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah, it was wild, man.
Crazy.
Zelda was enough. That was it. And then we go into the launch window highlights, and
Oh,
Fire. So
the
good.
greatest launch window of all time.
Unbelievable.
So good. Really, really good.
right? I mean, again, yeah, we got Snipper Clips represented right up there. But what do we got? We got Tetris again. Tetris. Some version of Tetris is always there since Game Boy, since 1989. Which is crazy.
Oh, reliable.
So, yeah, it's synonymous with Nintendo launch
Yeah.
/ launch windows. But for you guys, now that we're into the real meat of the launch window highlight here, Roger, I will let you go first since you're our guest today. But what games here did you play, and what were your thoughts briefly?
I, to this day, love and will defend ARMS to the death. I love ARMS. ARMS was one of those things that when it came out, like I think everybody was playing Splatoon 2 at the time. Lots of people. And I like Splatoon, but Splatoon is not like my top franchise, not even like top 5 in terms of Nintendo for me. Like I enjoy it every time. I go, this is fun. I like the single player, and then I play a little bit more online, and I'm like, I've got enough. I'm good. But ARMS, I loved the character designs. I loved the idea of it. I also liked like the button controls. I think a lot of people played with motion because that was just kind of like how it was marketed. But the button controls were really good. And like the rock, paper, scissors kind of mechanic of like having your shield, buffing your punches, having all the different types of arms, swapping out the different abilities of the different characters, the style of the characters themselves, the way that they like, I don't know if people remember, but like they were dropping new characters and teasing them pretty much monthly at that point. So they had like the teaser for Lollipop came out like right afterwards, and people were speculating what the character was going to play like, what their ability was. You know, then that character comes out, they start teasing the next one. And that went on for like 2 years. And it was a blast, man. I mean, and they had the little party crashes that would happen where you get your groups of friends online and you'd all get like your bonus points and then buy more arms. Dude, I love that game. 100%.
Roger, how about
every single arm?
How about that theme song?
Oh, 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 dun, 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 oh, bum, 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 ba, da, 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 da. It was amazing. It's the best.
Absolutely.
It's so good, man.
Nailed it.
Arms. I know. They got to make legs. They got to make legs, or they got to make arms too. I'm here for it. Game's great. Even if they spin off for a platformer or whatever, I don't care. Give me more arms. I love it. Obi agrees. You can hear him in the background. He loves arms too. Yeah. We're both arms fans.
Gamebird, how about for you? What really stood out for you here with that launch window highlight?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I got to go with Mario Odyssey, you know, one of my mainline 3D Marios. It's one of my favorite series from Nintendo. ARMS, I was super hyped for. It's a new IP from Nintendo. You know, I'm going to be on board day one. But there's a lot of good stuff here. I mean, Sonic Mania.
Yeah.
That was the most fun that I had playing a Sonic game since playing Adventure for the first time on Dreamcast.
Yeah.
And I think it's the best modern Sonic, period, in my opinion.
It's so good.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Excellent.
Super stoked for that. But Mario Odyssey was a really special one. My first E3 was when Nintendo did the full Breath of the Wild booth. I didn't get a chance to play, but I got to go back and play Mario Odyssey at E3 when they decorated it like New Donk City. And of course, I played New Donk City, which is possibly my favorite world in a Mario game. I just love it so much. The whole festival scene at the end of that world is just
the theme song. Go.
You got it, Roger.
No. I already did ARMS. You got to do New Donk City.
We'll see. Maybe at the end of the show, I'll have a little ditty for you. But it was just such a special moment. I was so excited to be there. I remember being in line to play, and I only waited like 10 minutes to play Odyssey. Don't ask me how. Meeting Charles Martinet for the first time, so it was just such a special experience for me. So that one holds a very special place in my heart, and definitely from this launch window, excluding Breath of the Wild, which was my absolute most hyped for Switch. That was the game that really stood out for me.
Nice. Eric, how about you?
Yeah. Going to E3 and actually getting to experience the Breath of the Wild situation. Not trying to rub it in. But
you bastard.
But that definitely sold me on the Switch. Not that I wasn't probably going to get it to begin with, but that absolutely just playing that demo, Nate can attest to it. It lit a fire in me again.
Brought gaming back.
Yeah. So that game was huge for me on the Switch. And then out of this launch window, and then Mario Odyssey, one of my favorite Mario games of all time. I dabbled a little bit in Splatoon, never really got into it. Snipper Clips was amazing. Other than that, I don't know if I actually played a whole lot of these.
I don't think he did.
Actual titles.
Not Xenoblade? You never played Xenoblade 2? Oh.
He was still playing Breath of the Wild.
It took me a long while.
I love Xenoblade.
I was enjoying that game. I did every
Breath of the
little
Wild is
thing I
pretty much
could.
all he really needed in 2017.
Yeah.
To be
it
fair,
really
that's
was.
most of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually own more of these than I thought I did. I have a lot of these games.
Oh yeah, I mean
It's
the
just- it was
lineup
just-
that year was iconic. I mean, again,
Yeah.
Snipper Club, Xenoblade, Fire Emblem, Mario Odyssey, Splatoon, ARMS, Pokken, just all those Sonic Mania that you brought up earlier, incredible. Puyo Tetris is also really good too. Plus Breath of the Wild. Yeah, there was banger after banger after banger. It was a great year. Yeah.
Rayman Legends. I had that one for the Wii U, so I didn't pick it up on the Switch. But I just want to add it. It's one of the best 2D platformers I've ever played. The hand-drawn art style, the rhythm-based levels and stuff. Really, really cool.
Yeah.
Nate, what do you got?
Look, to me, this is the greatest launch window of all time. It's so great that not every game is even on this list. Give you an example. How about the biggest game on Switch, Mario Kart 8?
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's right. Yeah, it's not up here.
But you know what's also not up there? How about the game that broke the internet? The impossible port, Doom 2016, baby. Came out November 10th.
That's right. That's right. Because it was at the. I completely forgot about that. That I remember vividly the first big press like holiday preview that they did for media and for influencers for that year was in like October of 2017. And one of the games during that was Doom. It was Doom and it was Fire Emblem Warriors. And I remember them making such a big deal about the fact that you could play Doom. And, you know, everyone was hyping it up and talking about what a great game it was. And seeing it on Switch and seeing it actually running well was a huge shock to me.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah, totally mind-blowing.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure I shout out those two specifically because to me those were really big marks in the in that window. Which, like, you see how many games are in this launch window? Do you think that can realistically fit all 79,000 games that came out in the launch window? Like, at some point, you got to cut it off. But I want to make sure I shout out those two because they were like really big deals back in 2017. Mario Kart's arguably still a big deal. It's still selling millions every quarter.
Yeah,
we're in 2025, guys. That game came out in 2014.
Yeah.
Like,
and it'll probably keep selling once the new Mario Kart comes out because I'm sure they'll do a bundle at holiday season when they're trying to sell that last remaining thing of Switch 1. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe will be in there. I mean, it's like it's
Mario Kart 8 bundled every holiday. Every
yeah.
holiday, which is life insane. But yeah, no. Besides those two, and I just want to make sure I shouted those out. I got to make sure that Xenoblade gets some love here. I know Xenoblade 2. A lot of things that the general audience will remember it for is that it had a little bit of performance issues at launch. Almost like maybe it needed a little bit more time to optimize. But then when they brought the DLC out the following year, that DLC was just fire. Then you have the definitive edition of Xenoblade come out the next year as well. So bottom line is Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I still haven't beat 3 all the way to the end yet, but I did with 2 in the DLC, and oh my God, it is so good.
The best.
It is so good. And I need life-size Pyra/Mythra in my house right now.
Here's my issue with
right here. I got it.
I know you
made it.
Here's my issue with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and this is a me thing. This is not a problem with the game. I got really far in it, and then for whatever reason, I put it down for a long enough period of time where I have this rule: if I don't remember everything in the story, I can't pick up where I left off. I have to start it from the beginning. And I haven't found the time to go back, start it over, and make it to the end. But I love Xenoblade.
I feel like
it's a me thing.
At this point, you might as well like wait 2 years because the game, which is insane, the game is going to turn 10 years old 2 years from now, and they have this tendency with Xenoblade to do these definitive editions. I fully believe like 2 years from now on Switch 2, there's going to be like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 definitive edition. And you'll be able to play it all over again with quality of life features, and you won't even feel like you missed anything. So you're good.
I might take you up on that, but if 2 years passes and we don't get it, you'll be hearing from me, pal.
You got it. Yeah. Remember this.
Remember this day.
Because this year, I think, is the 10th year anniversary as well of Chronicles X, right? Isn't that like the whole big reason they did X Definitive Edition? And then same thing with the original Xenoblade Chronicles and then Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. It's like they do come out with re-releases and definitive editions of those games pretty frequently. So I think you won't have to wait too much longer.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I love how we call a decade frequent.
I mean, that is though. Realistically, I mean, in
know,
terms of a remake, a decade is pretty frequent.
But I'm thinking, like, man, a decade from now, I'm almost 50. I don't really want to think about that.
Right?
Decade from now, I will also almost be 50. I'll be 45 a decade from now. I just turned 35 last week. So
You're a young bastard. I
it is
hate
what it is.
Just kidding.
Well, I wouldn't say 35 is young. I'm as the YouTube kids call it, I'm an unk. Now I'm Unk
Yep.
Roger, unfortunately. So
Yep.
that's what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Dave, do you have any other titles here?
I mean, I owned a whole bunch of these.
Yeah.
I bought NBA 2K.
Yeah. You and I both did.
I felt like it was a little bit of a mistake because obviously it's way better than the other platforms.
Yeah.
Sure.
But you know what? It ran at a fairly consistent 30 FPS. And you know what? At the time, there was no other way to play a portable. So I definitely played the hell out of NBA 2K18. And I give them credit because it's a quality port. It really is.
Yeah.
For the hardware it's running on, I couldn't really ask for it to be any better. Axiom Verge,
Mhm.
that game out. Oh my God, it's so good.
Do you have it physically?
No, I don't.
I have the multiverse edition.
Oh, you lucky.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah,
it digital.
Great game.
Yeah, I think the only game on here that I was ever let down by that I played was just Sonic Forces. Didn't do it for me, man.
I actually just went back and played Sonic Forces for the first time 3 months ago because what happened was I was on a Sonic kick with the movie.
Yeah.
And I was traveling a bunch at the end of last year and I played through all of Sonic Origins Plus, every single game in the collection. Loved it. Went back, replayed Mania, and I'm like, you know what? I realized Forces is the only one that I haven't like fully completed. Let's try it. And I heard it was short. It's only like 2 hours. Bruh. It's a rough 2 hours, I'll tell you. It's a short game, but it's a rough game.
Did you have to force yourself to play it?
I did. I got about halfway through and I was like, let's just do this. And so I'm mashing through all the dialogue where they're like, Sonic, you need to do this to go find, Dr. Eggman and this look. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. Let's just go. Yeah. I did like my weird little my bunny character that I made though with your little create a character.
Oh yeah, create a character. Yeah.
How did those levels play? The create a character. I had major.
You have a
concerns about
grappling hook instead of like your speed boost, and so you grapple onto enemies, and then Sonic is with you, so you're still running at the speed of Sonic, but you just have a grappling hook. It's not great. Yeah,
it's not. It's not. And I wonder if
they already have a hard time controlling Sonic in the
as it is, right? So when you're grappling as like a weird bunny that's clipping through walls and like doing flips and flying off stuff, and then you have the tails going, "It's okay, try again," and it's like, oh god,
that's terrible. That's hell.
Yeah, not good.
I want to shout out Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Oh, great game.
Oh
Great
my god,
game.
I played the hell. I probably have over 100 hours in that game.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
love
one.
that game, man.
Yeah, really good.
Me and Eric played the fuck out of that game.
I
was actually surprised you didn't say it. I'm
No,
like,
I
Eric, there was
completely
one
missed
game
it.
on here. I know
I
you played the
completely
shit
missed
out
it.
of it.
Yeah.
That was Puyo Puyo Tetris. That game is
Oh,
so
yeah.
fun. Oh man.
And that was first couple months as well. I mean, that was like, I want to say it was around the same time as like Mario Kart came out. Right?
Yeah,
it was like that part of the summer.
Yeah, it was April.
Really good.
It was April,
Really
yeah.
good.
Yeah, the launch window, a lot of great games, like Retro City Rampage DX.
Mm.
Game is awesome. Like if you grew up in the 80s,
Mm.
this game speaks to you, right? 80s, even if you're a 90s kid, like that game is awesome. It has so many great references in it. I have The Binding of Isaac right there. Cave Story, I have that physically. Cave Story is an
Great.
awesome game. Yeah, great game. Rayman Legends Definitive Edition, awesome. You had the Batman Telltale. This is when the dreaded box art was updated. If you look at Resident Evil Revelations and 2K, had that horrible bar at the top
Oh,
that we all hate.
with like the download where it says download required or something to
Yeah.
play it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, already? We're in the launch window. Can't even fit it on there now. Usually something like that would happen down the road. But yeah, Sonic Mania, enjoyed the heck out of that. I got the collector's edition, the one that came in the huge Sega Genesis box.
Nice.
Ultra Street Fighter 2. That sold really well for Capcom. Really well. So I was happy to see that for them.
It's also another game, relatively modern Nintendo system, like you were mentioning, different trends throughout the course of launches, like that we've seen. Street Fighter was also on 3DS, obviously Super Nintendo. It's here. It's like keep that in mind for a little bit later.
Exactly. I'd be remiss too, guys, if I didn't talk about Skyrim because of what it meant.
Oh yeah.
If you go back to the original January 2017 reveal, and all of us seeing Skyrim was like, what?
It was
in portable mode.
It was in the October
Yeah,
2016 teaser.
Mind blowing. Yeah.
They showed it you were playing it on the airplane and stuff. I'm like, dude, I know it was like a 2011 game, but it didn't matter, man.
It didn't matter, yeah.
On the go, Skyrim on the go. That was what was so exciting.
Yeah, and it got everyone
Zelda
thinking.
gear added.
That's right. They did add the Zelda gear. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And I know like this is obviously much later in life, but dude, the fact that it went from Skyrim, then we got The Witcher 3 on the go, like, oh my god.
I know. It makes me wonder if not if we're going to get a game of this caliber, because I do believe we will, but it makes me wonder if we're going to get a game that includes something Nintendo or Zelda related. Because I think there are some games that I do think will be in the Switch 2 launch lineup that could lend really well to having some sort of Link-like character in it.
I agree. I think we're gonna be in agreement when we get there.
Yeah, so I'm like, I wonder if we'll do that again. Worked out pretty well. Obviously, like, so of all these games, there's so many great ones. I own a majority of them physically or on my shelf, but Mario Odyssey, of course.
Oh yeah.
It's so special. All the worlds, the variety. One thing I really enjoy about my platformers, really any game, but I like a variety in location and colors, right? And scenery and all that. Mario Odyssey did that in spades, right? And then you beat the game. And I know it came out a long time ago, so I'm just still gonna act like maybe some people haven't got there. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but you beat the game and then you're greeted with something really special if you're a longtime gamer, right? And then there's the suits too, the costumes.
Yep.
Normally in a game, normally in a game, I don't really care. Like, I'm not going to go do more after I beat it because there's other games I want to play and beat, and there's only so much time in life, kind of thing. But I was having so much fun with this game. Like, yeah, you know what? give me a reason to continue playing. Let's do this. And so, of course, I went out and got said suit, and you guys probably know which one I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, this is so cool, man. This is awesome. Can we do this every time? Can we do this with all the Mario games?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, that was special. I have one gripe with Odyssey. This is ridiculous, but the game had so many cool worlds in it. There's a world that's like Dark Souls, the gothic.
Oh my gosh, I know exactly.
But it's just utilized for a boss fight. And for the love of God, when I first saw images of Mario in the suit of armor, and people were making the little memes with Mario sitting next to the bonfire like Dark Souls. Yeah. I was so stoked to arrive in this world, but maybe next time.
I have a fun story about that, actually. So at the time, Nintendo has not done this for Brandon Masters for years and years at this point now. But at the time that year, they had given us ARMS, Breath of the Wild, and Mario Odyssey all early. And it was significantly earlier than when they even usually do like review windows now. And one of the things that happened with Odyssey was that we got Odyssey a full month before it came out. And we were not allowed to say anything, talk about it, whatever, except for like the small group of people that we also knew that had the game early. I vividly remember playing through, getting to that dragon boss, and then messaging Game Explain, like DMing, because I knew they also had the game, and being like, what the hell? Like, is there more to this world? Like, what's good? They're like, nope.
Yep.
Because they were already like past the game. They're like, nope, that boss is done.
Right.
And me being like, what? No, I just got here. Like,
Yeah.
this is such a sick world. Like, what the heck? And then same kind of thing happened later on in the game as well. Not to spoil the thing you're talking about, Thunderstash, but like the world after that world that unlocks in the post game with the moon, that dark moon to the darker side of the moon thing was like such a huge disappointment with the post game when I had expected, oh, they're going to do something like that original world that unlocks after the credits, or they're maybe going to do like Isle Delfino or something, or anything, literally anything other than just the moon twice. Literally anything else would have been fine. And so that also kind of soured me on the game a little bit. I still think it's awesome. And I go back and you can replay it in a couple hours and just have a good time, collecting some moons, knowing where they are and getting to the end. But in terms of like replayability, I found that I don't go back to Odyssey as much as I do things like 64, Galaxy, and Sunshine, which is a little bit of a bummer. But the game is obviously still fantastic,
Yep.
100%. I'm with you on that. It's not a game I've revisited like recently. I more recently revisited Mario Sunshine at 60 FPS, doing a little performance mod there, and then same thing with Mario 64, playing that at 60 FPS. My God, so badass, Nintendo! You got to do this, man. You got to do this. I'm sure we're going
to be seeing 60 FPS 4K Mario in like a week from now. Also, fun fact, 13 minutes ago, we are now officially 12 hours away from the direct tomorrow.
Sweet.
12 hours away. Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's
coming in close.
Countdown.
It's so wild. I was so ready tonight before we got that confirmation of the Nintendo Direct to be like, man, it's the calm before the storm. But no, it's just the storm.
It's just
the
the
storm.
storm. Yeah,
it's just
the storm.
That's
I
right.
Gloves are off.
All right, guys. So I think that wraps all of this up. And with that, we're going to transition. Thank you. We're going to transition here over to Nate for the next topic. And again, these topics, they just keep getting better and better. So this should be a lot of fun.
Oh, baby. So obviously, guys, before we even knew there was going to be a direct tomorrow, which we're going to get to that at the end because save the best for last, right? We have a special topic about the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. We've been planning this topic for a bit now, and it actually involves a bingo. Now, all of us on the show have filled out a bingo card, and we're going to have our guest go first. I'll share it in a moment. But I want to let everyone in the chat know you, too, get to participate in this bingo. There is a link pinned or in the description, either way. And you guys can click on that link. It'll show you all the rules and how to enter and where to email your boards to. So I'm not going to go through all those rules right now because you can do it for yourself. I'll make sure our audio listeners as well will have those links as well on your phone if you want to enter in. It links to the card to fill out and all the rules and all that. Because look, we're not just doing this. Someone's going to win at least a $20 eShop gift card. If one of you guys is crazy and gets a blackout, that's a $100 eShop gift card. So look, we're going wild over here. And you know what? If 50 people tie, that's 50 $20 eShop gift cards going out. So here's the thing. It could be a lot of winners or it could be one winner. We have no idea. It's up to you guys to fill out those cards. And you don't have to just do it today. You can do it all the way until April 1st. So we'll mention this again on tomorrow's podcast because, yes, of course, we're doing another podcast tomorrow. There's a Nintendo Direct. What are we doing? What are we doing? We can't miss a big direct. Come on. But yeah, we mentioned it all the way up to April 1st. And then April 2nd, you'll have about a 6-day period there to submit your marked cards to us because we're not going to mark 1,000 different cards for you guys. Are you crazy? You got to mark your own cards, but we have to have your submission for your marks to count so we can make sure there's no cheating going on around here. All right.
Right.
That being said, speaking of cheating.
What are you implying? What are you implying, Prime?
We're going to have Rogers Mace go first. The reason I'm implying cheating is only one person on this show got a personal invite to the new Nintendo Museum.
Bruh, okay. That doesn't mean anything. Just because I know some of the developers, just because I know some things, doesn't mean I know everything. All right, I was fair and square.
I know developers and I know it doesn't mean... Yeah, okay.
Just because Sakurai watches my Smash reactions, I mean, it's like no.
Reggie follows you.
And Reggie follows me, right? Exactly.
Yep.
Next thing you know, you probably didn't mention. Maybe Doug Bowser's following there.
I don't think he does yet. He doesn't really show up all that frequently. I mean, I see him at events occasionally, but does he even use social media? I should go follow him.
He does post on X sometimes.
I will. I'll go check. I'll follow him.
Anyways, so Rogers, what we're gonna have you do is go through your bingo card and why you put each thing that you have there, and then all of us that follow up with our bingo cards. If there's any repeats, we'll skip over our repeats and just go to the ones that we have new.
Cool. Well, first and foremost, you said that I could put a free space or not. And so I kind of chose Mario Kart as the free space because I figured instead of just putting a free space, making it kind of cheap, I feel like Mario Kart is essentially a free space, right? We've seen this already. We know it exists. It's most likely the launch title. I feel like there's no doubt in my mind that we're not going to see anything related to Mario Kart. It's going to be there for sure, 100%. So that's my free space in the middle. I then put in each of the four corners things that I think are unlikely to be launch games, but things that I think we could see within the launch window potentially and like see a first glimpse of during this direct. So I included Animal Crossing, Smash Brothers, Star Fox, and Fire Emblem. All four of those, literally any of those four, will make me have a heart attack live on stream. So I figured let's put stuff that I'm super excited about personally, but also things that I think realistically could show up, but I don't think are going to be like launch day. And I don't think we're going to get tons of information on. They seem like games that either, would be like a small teaser or them sort of doing what they did with Smash back in the Wii U and 3DS era, mentioning, oh, by the way, we're working on a new game in this franchise. So I included that. The top row, if we're just going in the top row, we're doing this in order of rows. I included Miyamoto there. Miyamoto, his slot is basically a Miyamoto game. This could also kind of be in the IP category, but I included that because I do feel something developed by Miyamoto, considering this is really going to be his last cycle ever with Nintendo. He's probably got one last thing cooking, whether that is a Pikmin or a new Nintendogs or some type of new IP, whatever. Obviously, he's busy with the Mario movie and with the theme parks, and he's had his hands in a lot of like the external IP stuff as of late. He hasn't really been as much in like getting his hands dirty into the game development side, but I do think there is at least something that he is working on. And I didn't think it was right to like lump that in with the franchise because, again, I think it could be anything. But I do think something Miyamoto developed has a pretty good chance of being there.
Roger, can I pause you real quick?
Yeah.
I'm so happy you put this on and said this. Just the other week on the podcast, we did a segment about, Miyamoto's legacy and his age and how it's very likely Switch 2 is going to be his last console. I mentioned to Eric and Thunderstash and our guest last week that part of me is really hoping there's this like Miyamoto moment, kind of like Miyazaki, how, he retired from his movies, but then we got The Boy and the Heron. And I want this one last hurrah moment where it's like some project that maybe Miyamoto's been thinking about for 30, 40 years, but never brought it to life. And maybe it's his final send off as far as like, this is my last baby that I'm giving to all of you. So I'm stoked you put that on there. Fingers crossed. I want you to nail that bingo.
I hope so too. I hope there's something Miyamoto developed. That'd be great. Next up, instead of doing a variety of different price numbers, I actually want to get the bingo. So I'm going with the one I think is most likely, which is $3.99. Also kind of feels like a free space to me, but we'll see. I could very much be wrong. The next category, the next little box also kind of is a little bit of a free space, but now I am getting a little concerned as of literally an hour ago because Sakurai, many of you know this, actually retweeted and quote retweeted after the Switch 2 Direct was announced. He quote retweeted and retweeted. Those of you who follow Sakurai and know his procedures basically know that he only does that when something that he is working on is present in a Nintendo Direct so that people don't get excited thinking there's going to be like a Smash or a Kid Icarus or Kirby or whatever, and then it not show up. He, as of 1 hour ago, quote retweeted the Direct announcement for tomorrow with the word hoo-hoo in Japanese, which is kind of like interesting or like, what's going on here?
You excited uprising tomorrow, baby?
So we may actually get the Sakurai developed thing tomorrow and not during the Switch 2 Direct. However, I'm including it still on my bingo card because I do feel like because he quote retweeted it before, whatever his project is, if it is a Switch 1 and Switch 2 game, whatever, I do think it'll be present in some capacity in the Switch 2 Direct. So I think Sakurai's next project is there. Again, Star Fox goes along with the Animal Crossing Smash and Fire Emblem one, so I'm going to avoid that. I think that could be anything from a new Star Fox game to a reboot of maybe like Star Fox Adventures or something, or like maybe Assault gets support and they up-res it into 4K. I don't know, but I think Star Fox could be there, so I include it. This is where I said to pay attention to the SimCity font earlier. I actually think a lot of people forget about this. SimCity, much like Tetris, is partially owned by Nintendo. The Nintendo version of the game is wholly owned by Nintendo, which is why you see SimCity not only on Super Nintendo, there was also SimCity on the N64 DD, the disk drive. There was also Mr. Wright, who is the mayor in the SimCity Nintendo games, is an assist trophy in Smash Brothers Brawl, in Smash Brothers 4, and in Smash Brothers Ultimate. He has not been forgotten over time and technically has been on every console in some capacity since the Super Nintendo. So I do actually feel like if there's going to be something with mouse controls with the Switch 2, if they need a smaller title to utilize those mouse controls, I think a City Builder is really like a great choice. And this would be a weird IP that not a lot of people expect, but again, they have clearly not forgotten about, and it has a lot of history with Nintendo. It's been there at launch with the Super Nintendo. It was there at launch for the disk drive, and I think it could be there at launch for Switch 2 as well. And I'm going to go one step further. I feel like the disasters in this game could be really cool. For those of you who have played the other Nintendo SimCity games, Bowser sometimes can destroy your city, and he acts as like one of the natural disasters that can happen. Bro, of course they're not going to pass up Calamity Ganon at this point. Naturally, you're going to have something where the sky's a blood moon and Calamity Ganon wreaks havoc on your city. So there's a lot of neat stuff I think they could do with a modern SimCity. So that's why I included it. And I actually think it's more likely than people are expecting. So yeah, SimCity. WarioWare. Another one goes in line with the smaller IP that maybe utilizes the specialty mouse controls. I think WarioWare is a pretty easy pick, so I included that. Elden Ring goes back to what Thunderstash was saying earlier, talking about one of those very iconic third-party games people never would have expected in portable mode on a handheld, let alone a Nintendo system. Nintendo's got a great relationship with Bandai Namco. Obviously, Shadow the Erdtree is now about a year old. You could do a deluxe edition with Shadow the Erdtree and the original game and throw in like the Master Sword or something as an exclusive item. Call it a day, wrap it up, have it there at launch as your Zelda-esque experience, because I don't think we're getting a mainline Zelda anytime soon. Even though I do have Zelda on here, I'll explain that a little bit later. But yeah, Donkey Kong was the next one up. Again, no-brainer. I feel like Donkey Kong is something that's probably on a large portion of our list, considering the fact he just got a redesign for Mario Kart, to the point where they also just as of last week on the press credentials on their website updated the artwork of Donkey Kong to include the new eyeballs from Mario Kart, which is like interesting little weird thing. People aren't really looking at this kind of stuff, but it is important to note things that are potentially coming up. So I think Donkey Kong in some capacity could show up. Mario Paint, another one, alongside SimCity, I think is one of those games, utilizes the mouse controls, literally used mouse controls on both Super Nintendo and on N64. Also has the possibility of like being added to NSO for Switch 2, right? Where you could have like the Mario Paint games utilizing the mouse controls, or could then be available for NSO on Switch 2 if you have the Super Nintendo or the N64 app. That could be really neat. I also think something that people aren't really talking about in terms of Mario Paint is I think this is how they bring back Mario Maker. I think Mario Maker, obviously the first Mario Maker captivated the zeitgeist, right? Everybody was playing it, loved it. Second Mario Maker did fine on Switch, right? It did respectably, but it didn't blow up in the same way that the original Mario Maker did, right? And I think a huge portion of that was due to, having the touch controls on the Wii U, where people were dragging and dropping. It just seemed easier, right? You had touch controls, but it was different. I think this time around, I could see them doing Mario Maker plus Paint. I could see Mario Paint basically being added to the Maker franchise and them almost packaging it as like, we don't have a 2D Mario at launch, make your own. And here's all the Mario Paint stuff. And so I think 3D Mario for holiday, which is listed on here underneath the Triforce, I think is something that all of us probably have on our list. 3D Mario for the 40th anniversary, no brainer. That's almost kind of like a free space for me too. But I think Mario Paint is something that not as many people are talking about. So that's why I got it on there too. Am I moving too slow or too quick? I feel like I'm taking up a lot of time. I'm like trying
good.
Okay.
Golden, man.
Great. New IP, no brainer. Don't need to talk about that much. I think there's going to be a new IP at this. There always is, whether it was ARMS with Switch, Nintendo Land for Wii U, with the Wii Sports, there's always something, new IP, locking that in. The Screw Attack represents anything Metroid. I think, the rumblings right now is that tomorrow is going to be the big blowout for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond for the Switch Direct, and that maybe it's not as present during the Switch 2 Direct. I still think that's a load of horse shit. You got the Switch 2 with mouse controls. I feel like that doesn't make any sense to not show off what that game is going to look like with mouse controls on a shooter. So I think even if there is a big blowout tomorrow, I still think that Metroid Prime in some capacity will be at the Switch 2 Direct. Maybe as a comparison of like, this is what it looks like on Switch. You just saw this last week, but look at how much better it looks on our new system, and everything's fully backwards compatible. So why not? Free Space Mario Kart, already said it. Zelda, the Triforce. The reason I put the Triforce there, I think there will be some reference to Zelda in some fashion, is what that space is. So that's a little bit of a cheap free space, but I think there's going to be some reference to something Zelda. I do not think it's a mainline game. I don't even think it's a remake. I quite frankly don't even think it's a port or a remaster. I think it's something as simple as them basically saying, by the way, we're working on the next mainline Zelda. Please wait for a little bit longer. That's it, New NSO. So this is not just new NSO games. This is new NSO expansions. So I think we're actually going to get a third tier of NSO introduced for Switch 2. I think it's going to be the tier that includes GameCube and Wii. I think we're going to get GameCube and Wii as the next systems that are going to be on Switch 2's top tier. And then I think the base tier on Switch 2 is going to get DS. And I think the secondary tier, the expansion pass tier on Switch 2 is going to get 3DS. But I think in some capacity, new Nintendo DS, whatever, all these other games going to be added to NSO. But I feel very strongly about there being some type of new expansion tier for NSO and that being announced during this. So, and I think a lot of that has to do with whatever that mysterious C button is, whether that's like social media or whatever. We don't know at this point, but I do think a new NSO tier. Kid Icarus, I listed on here. I was almost debating not putting that and just having Sakurai, but the reason why I did that is because I think Kid Icarus is one of those weird situations, much like Metroid, where we could get this tomorrow, right? And this ends up being something that's like Switch 1 and Switch 2. And this also may not be developed by Sakurai. Something that people don't know is that Sakurai mentioned on his YouTube channel that his little like form that he put together, right, to like pitch his game, his next project, took a very small amount of time. His brief was very short. So to me, that kind of leads me to believe that it's something that he's familiar with and that it is probably like a Kirby or a Kid Icarus or a Smash Brothers. But on the other hand, we now know that Bandai Namco has two internal teams working exclusively on Nintendo franchises. One is Team S, which they don't outright say it, but like, it's Smash Brothers. Like that's what that Team S is for sure. They've been working on it at Smash. The other game is the other team, is potentially working on a action game for Nintendo. It's a team put together to make action games for Nintendo platforms. That screams to me Kid Icarus. That screams to me like Sakurai doesn't necessarily need to be development in the process for a Kid Icarus Uprising HD. That's something that Bandai Namco can kind of handle on their own. And I think we might end up seeing it during there. Again, it's one of the minor ones on here. Not everything could be a heavy hitter, absolutely going to be there, but I wanted to put, and I also didn't want to put too much third party because I feel like you could do a full blackout with third party if we're diving into third party stuff. So that's why I only put a couple third party on here. Splatoon. Yeah, I think we're going to see at some point a teaser of the next Splatoon game, whether or not that's launch window. I don't know. I don't feel confident enough, but I do think we're going to see Splatoon. That's one of their core things. Halo Master Chief Collection, another one that might be coming tomorrow instead of next week. But I feel like Master Chief Collection, again, kind of the worst kept secret in the industry that Microsoft wants to get that on Nintendo platforms. And so I feel like sooner rather than later, we're probably going to see that within the next 2 weeks, either at the Switch Direct tomorrow or Switch 2 the next day. The Mario slot, again, essentially a free slot. We all agree 3D Mario's coming. We're going to see it during this. It is what it is. And then finally, Monolith Soft. Obviously, Monolith Soft was developing Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. That game has now come out. We know they've been working on something else. We know there's a second team at Monolith Soft. And so I think their next big IP, much like how Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was in the Switch 1 presentation, I think we could see Monolith Soft's next game, whether that's a Xeno game or a new IP during this. Smash Brothers, I'm going to pass over because, again, I'll pass away if I end up talking about Smash Brothers more because I love it so much. Baldur's Gate, another one of those third-party games that just makes a lot of sense as like a showpiece for the Switch 2. Very popular Game of the Year game. Everybody loved it. And I think the interesting thing about Baldur's Gate is obviously it's available on consoles already, right? You can play it on your PS5 or your Series X or whatever. I almost called it a 360. Goes to show I don't play Xbox for shit. But Baldur's Gate, I feel like they could make a really good push for Baldur's Gate on Switch 2, utilizing once again those mouse controls. I think that game, primarily people have played it on a mouse and keyboard on a PC, and I think it lends itself to that very well. And I think showcasing that almost as like your Skyrim type game, if it's not Elden Ring, I think Baldur's Gate's a really a smart pick for that. So yeah, Baldur's Gate's on my list for that reason. Nintendo Music. People are probably like, what the hell? Why are you using up a bingo slot for Nintendo Music? We recently just got news that there's going to be a big Nintendo Music update later this year. In like October, I believe, is what the news article was about. It was off the official Nintendo website. This is like from Nintendo's mouths themselves. I believe, personally, that Nintendo Music is not only going to be an app available on your Switch 2, I think Nintendo Music is going to incorporate its way in some fashion to the UI of the system, in which you can maybe set like menu themes. You could have a daily playlist. You could have things playing in the background while you're playing other games. Like say, for example, you're playing Tetris, but you just want to listen to other Nintendo music. You could have it running in the background. And obviously that's something exclusive for Switch Online members. That's what the app is for anyway. So it's that extra added benefit of paying for the online service that would be available on Switch 2.
Could I piggyback on that real quick?
Yeah, of course. By all means. Yeah.
So this is something I've wanted, what you just went over, but there's one more layer that I want, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts. But I 100% think that Nintendo Music should be able to be incorporated into Alarmo.
Yes.
Because you should be able to listen to this music as you fall asleep, like a sound machine.
Yes.
Like, make it an alarm and a sound machine. That'd be way better. So hopefully they do that, because I think Nintendo Music could have a lot more legs. Same with Alarmo if they actually do that.
I agree. 100% agree. Yeah, for sure. And then the last one, because I already kind of mentioned Fire Emblem briefly as like one of those 4 games that I put in the corners because I think they have like a 50-50 shot. The last one is Final Fantasy VII Remake, which for me is also a free slot. This seems like a no-brainer to me. I think just the image of seeing Cloud standing in front of the Shinra building on a Nintendo presentation for the launch of their new system. And obviously that game is visually very impressive. Even the original remake game is still visually impressive. We know that Rebirth can run on a very base low settings on Steam Deck and run very, very well on that at those settings. I feel like based on everything Square's already talked about wanting to get the 3rd game in the remake franchise on as many systems as possible, the really good relationship Square has with Nintendo right now, I think to me, at the very least, Remake is an absolute no-brainer for launch window for the system. Will absolutely be there. We'll be there in some capacity at the Switch 2 Direct. And I think, again, having that image in that like montage of third-party games that we're going to see during the Switch 2 Direct, ending that with Cloud standing in front of the Shinra building as this like momentous history, the cycle's coming full circle with the Nintendo PlayStation and Final Fantasy VII and Square leaving them, and then the whole history that happens there, I think would just be so cool to see that. So, and I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy, obviously, as well. So I think I had to include that on my list. But that's my bingo card. There you go.
Hell yeah.
Very nice.
Great
quality list.
Picks, man.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much for that bingo card. Eric, you ready to do yours, buddy?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I can't wait. I have
Let's go.
no idea what's on this one. Oh, baby.
It's not as pretty. Just plain text, but
you had a lot to live up to there.
Yeah, right.
Well, you got a lot of good stuff on here, though.
Make it as big as we can here. Here we go.
Yeah. So, release date of I'm going to go with the May 15th. Just going.
Bam.
Yep. Pre-orders
May
are
15th. Okay.
same day, about an hour after the show, because
Agreed.
they did with the Switch. So pre-orders are gonna be there. I put the cents on there, but I'm thinking the 450-ish range there. So, Mario Odyssey 2, I think we're gonna get. I think so. The Mario Kart, everybody had Mario Kart. I think we're gonna get the DLC roadmap, like the roadmap of how they're gonna handle.
Wow.
Mario Kart.
Okay, that's interesting. All right.
I like that.
I love that.
GameCube on the NSO, or for NSO. Native voice chat.
Hell yeah.
This one's definitely interesting. Xbox Game Pass.
Oh baby,
That's a good one. That's
Please.
a really good one, actually.
Microsoft is really, trying to make everything an Xbox. So, whether
True.
I didn't specify whether this would be necessarily a Nintendo themed, where it's more tailored towards games that have been on Nintendo in the past, or just full on Xbox Game Pass. But I think it probably, if they could, it'd probably be the full Xbox Game Pass.
That is a brilliant pick too. Considering, like, I think everybody's thinking Master Chief Collection, Sea of Thieves. There's all these games that have been rumored, but yeah, having Xbox Game Pass on there and bringing them on the stage during this direct would be momentous. That would get a lot of people talking. Yeah.
Yep. Zelda remaster remake. Something I don't know what one we're gonna get. Something a new Star Fox game.
Yep.
Yep.
2 for 2 on Star Fox on these bingo cards. Interesting.
Right.
All right.
Brand new first party IP.
Yep.
Themes for the UI.
There we go.
They're going to confirm Hall Effect Joy-Cons or joysticks for the. We'll see Metro Prime 4. We'll have an actual internet browser. Now,
interesting.
Love it. I
Why
love
bring
it.
back Opera?
Yeah,
Love it.
Yep.
I actually use Opera regularly. That's like what I use every day.
There we
Hell
go.
Yeah.
We're gonna get an achievement system of
There we
some
go.
sort, whether it's called achievements or
Nice.
not.
Nice. Wow. That's
I
a
want
heavy
it.
swing, man.
No friend codes.
Now there's the swing.
I mean,
That is a swing too. Yeah.
It is. They'll have to
Ballsy, dude.
to allow for backwards friend adding, but I mean that's pretty easy if you can add enter up. It would have to be the Nintendo Switch 2 player friending the Switch 1 player, because then you can enter the Switch code going backwards, the friend code going backwards. Neither here.
Yeah, you don't have to figure this solution now. That's
right?
Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly. Clear enough. Yeah, you're good.
I think there's going to be an NSO an upscaling package as part of the NSO. So like they'll just kind of keep working on throughout, as they go, allowing you to, switch games to upscale using DLSS and stuff like that. Silk Song will make an appearance.
That's what everyone wants.
Well,
Yeah.
we're 12 hours away, so I feel like
Yeah, right. Yeah, that one might be the
It might be tomorrow. Yeah.
That's what was tough, right, guys, about making this.
Yeah.
Is like what's going to be shown tomorrow versus next week.
Yeah.
I had to remove so many predictions that I wrote down
hard
for
for me.
this.
Yeah.
Like at least like 5 that I had to change. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, those
Yeah.
probably tomorrow.
Yeah, I originally was starting out as like, okay, they'll have confirmed the 12 gigs of RAM and this, and I'm like, wait a minute, they don't do. I had to message Nate. I'm like, they don't do specs, do they? He goes, no. I'm like, okay, fine. So I took like 3 of my things off of there, but if we don't get the Xbox Game Pass, I could definitely see the Halo Master Chief Collection. That's why I put not part of Game Pass.
Yep.
A new Banjo-Kazooie game. I want it.
I mean,
so bad.
again, I would die live on stream. I would literally have a heart attack and
Right.
die on stream. So I hope
Yeah.
to God that's not real. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. That would be. I mean, when I think of stuff that would just blow my mind, excluding a new mainline Zelda, that's a huge
Mhm.
one.
Yeah.
Mhm. I could see Octopath Travelers 3.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
I like
Well,
that.
we'll see whatever brand new Call of Duty that they're going to bring to. Bring
See,
to the Switch.
I'm glad you put that on there, because I feel like that is something I almost included on mine as like a free space, because that was the whole big thing with the acquisition, right? Is they made a huge deal about Call of Duty being on the other systems. So that seems like a no-brainer that they'll put it at the very least in like a montage.
Yep.
Man, yeah, that's good. That's a good pick.
Mario and Rabbids collection. So
There we
the
go.
2 Mario and Rabbids games. and then for the hell of it, Mario Baseball.
Oh, baby.
Interesting.
That's
All
a good
right.
call. I wonder if we're gonna see that tomorrow. That was one because it's like
Right.
tomorrow the Mariners debut, right?
Oh, interesting.
With their Switch.
With their
pack.
Switch too. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And I'm
same
like,
as the Switch Direct, baby.
yeah. And first thing I thought is like, man, there's no better time than literally tomorrow to bring back Mario Baseball.
Mario Baseball. That's a good call, man.
Like that'd be a great press release, right?
Yeah.
Easy.
That's awesome. All right. Let's go with the bird as the word, buddy.
All right. Spread
Bro,
your wings, my
I
friends.
gotta say though, I feel horrible because that literally, Eric, you took like 5 minutes, and I looked at the live thing, and I went like 25 minutes. I feel horrible.
Hey, you're the guest.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Eric
You get
is-
away with it.
okay.
Next
All right,
time,
that's
though.
fair.
Eric,
Not so lucky.
Next time,
Eric.
though, we'll be on your ass.
That's how we do it around here.
All right, let me pull mine up. Mine is also not as pretty as Roger's. However, I think it is prettier than Eric's. So
I mean,
Oh, well, there
give
you
me
go.
that.
I didn't know it was a
Give me
beating
that.
contest, but
Hey,
1 second.
I tried to make mine really pretty. I will say that.
well, that's the thing. You're going to make up for the last two, and then I'm going to go last
Yeah.
and embarrass everyone.
I like, by the way, I just noticed, Thunderstash, you're wearing a Conquer shirt right now.
Yeah,
In lieu of tomorrow, maybe?
exactly.
Conquer on NSO?
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So spread your wings, my friends. It's time to get into the real bingo card here. We got Mario Kart, obviously, is the centerpiece. Pretty self-explanatory. New 3D Mario. I mean, we're all kind of waiting for it. This one we feel like's been cooking for a long ass time, and I think all of our bodies are ready for some new Mario action. Luigi's Mansion 4. Luigi's Mansion 3 sold unbelievably well on the Switch. One of the prettiest games. Just the animations alone in that game are absolutely wonderful. Kind of Pixar-y vibes with the animations. I think we're going to see Luigi's Mansion 4. A new Dynasty Warriors crossover. That could be a new Zelda one. It could be Mushroom Kingdom Warriors. It could be the long speculated Xenoblade Warriors game that a lot of people really want. But I think there's a likely chance we might see something like that coming.
Love it.
New Kid Icarus. I agree with Roger. I think there's a chance we could see a new Kid Icarus game. I am curious because we have a direct coming tomorrow now, so maybe that throws a wrench if we see an Uprising remaster. Metroid Prime 4 Switch 2. I do believe that it's not just going to be the backwards compatibility with maybe runs a little better on Switch 2. I think there's going to be a Switch 2 version of this game. I think this game, maybe there'll be a big blowout, but I do think that this is going to be a great game to show off the tech and the capabilities and the lighting effects. And if there's the upscaling, really show it off and kind of wow people with a game that's a little bit less artistically stylized than a lot of Nintendo core IP is. Ubisoft, they're having some money troubles. I see at least 2 Assassin's Creeds being, whether it's a sizzle reel moment or a bigger announcement where they announce more. But I think Origins and Odyssey, those games came out on the PlayStation 4. It's been a long time. We don't have them on the Switch. So I think it's time we see that. I agree with Roger. I think this one's going to land around $399. I think Nintendo's going to want to keep costs down. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't seem like tariffs are going to affect the Nintendo stuff and cause that price increase. Silk Song. This is a game a lot of people have expected in multiple directs and presentations. I know anytime there's been an indie or a mini partner showcase, I did not believe this game would be at any of those. I think Silk Song has kind of transcended your indie direct. I think it's mysterious. It's big. People are really hyped. I think Switch 2 reveal seems like the perfect spot for this game to land when all eyes, maximum hype. Monster Hunter Wilds. We know Capcom loves Nintendo. They got a great relationship. Monster Hunter's, historically been on Nintendo consoles. We had them on their handhelds as well as Wii U. I think they're going to try and make Wilds come over. Metaphor ReFantazio.
That's another
one of the
really
best.
Good call. Yeah, really good call.
One of the best, if not the best RPG from last year. Beautiful game, great storyline. I don't see why it wouldn't be there. Elden Ring, come on, former game of the year. Who doesn't love Elden Ring? I think we're going to get Elden Ring on there. The next one, a new 3D Star Fox. I thought
Three
I'd
for
actually
three, bro. Every
Three for
single
three.
bingo card has had Star
And
Fox on it.
I chatted with my buddy before this episode, and I said, "There's no way anyone else is going to put Star Fox on theirs because I feel like no one thinks it's coming." I actually think there's it's a big chance
I
we'll
do
see Star
too.
Fox.
I do
It
too.
missed an entire generation. I think Nintendo's kind of reinvented the wheel with some of their other series, like Zelda. Even I think it's time Star Fox gets that love. Maybe they make it a little bit more like Adventure or Ratchet and Clank, and kind of just breathe some new life into Star Fox. But I think it's time. Mario Kart, we already saw that one. We're going to get a deeper dive on that. New Xenoblade is what I'm predicting, or Xeno game. Final Fantasy Rebirth, I think Square is going to show a major support early on for Switch 2. Rebirth makes so much sense to me. New Animal Crossing. I think this one's likely. I'm not 100% on it, but again, they swung big with Mario Kart in the beginning of Switch 2. We know that they've got big shoes to fill. They're competing with what's, coming in on being the best-selling console of all time.
Yep.
Animal Crossing is a big deal. A lot of people love it. Maybe they want to try and get that one announced early to get that hype going. Doom: The Dark Ages. Come on, baby. We've been getting a lot of Dooms on Nintendo consoles throughout the year. Doom was even the impossible port. I think Doom: The Dark Ages makes a lot of sense. Smash Brothers, it's in development. It's coming. I don't think there's any chance this game launches this year.
Yeah, no way.
But I certainly think it's possible that it gets teased this year. Almost like how they teased it when you see the Inklings swimming through the ink, and then you see the logo glowing in the eye, just in all the silhouettes of the characters. Just a sick tease like that to get people screaming to put Roger's base in the hospital. Whatever, Nintendo's got to make it happen.
Man, especially now, I feel like this is a side conversation, but you brought up Smash Brothers, and so I feel we have to address it. I was very much on the side of things that was like, we're going to get Ultimate Deluxe, that this is going to be the reverse of Mario Kart and Smash, where like last gen, we got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and a new Smash Brothers. This time we're going to get Smash Deluxe and like a new Mario Kart. Now that we know Switch 2 is fully backwards compatible, I kind of feel like that's not going to be a thing. I feel like because of how Sakurai is and how they are with Smash Brothers, I feel like it is going to be new when they make it for the system. And so the more people bring it up, I'm like, oh God, what are they going to do? Who are they going to cut? What's going to be the mechanic? Like, what are they going to do here? Yeah.
I fully believe that the next Smash Brothers is going to be kind of a soft reboot where they're going to add some new concepts. Maybe they do a deeper dive on a more fleshed out story mode, even better than Subspace Emissary. Who knows? Split Fiction, one of the highest, or possibly the highest rated game of the year so far. We got It Takes Two on Switch. That's a game that would do fantastic on Switch too.
Oh yeah.
Nintendo has the best to this day local multiplayer. Like of all the platforms, you play the most local multiplayer on Switch. Let's be real, or Nintendo platforms for that matter. And next one, I understand I spelled this wrong. We got a little typo, but I'm just gonna stick with it. Dedicated voice chat. We got dedicated voice chat, baby. Don't correct me in chat. It's dedicated. That's how I was actually raised to say it. New Fire Emblem. We had Engaged not that long ago, but that felt more like kind of like a special type love letter to the series. I'm talking like what's next after Three Houses, the best Fire Emblem game. It was 3 stories in one package. So good. Social elements. I think we're going to see the next Fire Emblem. It's way past due. Dragon Age Veilguard. I expect some EA support. This is a game that has struggled in the sales department. Major price drops already. I imagine that EA is going to want to get this on other platforms just to get some of those numbers up, some of those losses up. Sea of Thieves, that was briefly mentioned. And we were talking about water earlier on the show. Talk about a game with gorgeous water.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. I think that's a fun one. Man, thinking about playing that in handheld, even at a friend's house and stuff, and, sharing your pirate adventures locally. Really, really cool. Final Fantasy Remake. I know I put Rebirth earlier, but I think we're going to see both of those. I think Square, like I said earlier, is going to have big support. And I put mouse mode. I don't know if that's cheating. I can throw in something else. It's not confirmed.
Cheating.
It's not confirmed.
Possibly leaked.
Yeah, you're good.
Heavily speculated. You see the little Joy-Cons crawl around like mice, but Nintendo has not announced mouse mode. So I thought a final confirmation.
You have
will
so
be in
far.
order.
I've been paying attention to everyone's bingos. You have the easiest bingo, I think, of anybody. If you go top left to right, bottom diagonal, new 3D Mario, $3.99, Mario Kart Split Fiction, and mouse mode. I'm like, that seems like you're gonna get it. It seems like a pretty good one.
I put a lot of work. I put a lot of work into this one. I switched around some names, and again, I actually had to change out like 5 of these for the. I went into panic when obviously I was more stoked than anything, but I went into a mild panic. I was like, oh, there goes half my bingo card.
Yeah,
so
right.
That's the Birdman for you. So take it or leave it.
Also, I see Chip in the chat saying no Nintendo Switch news tomorrow, so I don't know why they announced mouse mode. We're doing direct predictions for the Switch 2 right now, not for tomorrow's Nintendo Direct. Yeah.
We'll get into the conversation. We're not doing a bingo, but we got a conversation about the Switch Direct.
Yeah.
But all right, Stash Man.
All right,
it's time. Show us this beauty. You hyped it up. That it's the prettiest one.
I think it's pretty.
Let's see.
All right.
Watch it be all just like initials.
It'd be funny.
No, dude, I was working in Photoshop today.
Morse code.
Morse code. Here we go.
Okay.
Ooh, that looks nice. Okay.
Oh, no, it's a profession.
Thank you.
Look at that.
All right. So first things first here on the top left, new 3D Mario. And I had to put the image that we all know. This was our first time for all of us seeing 3D Mario, classic Mario 64 render. Then we got Lucas here wearing the power glove from the movie The Wizard. And because he's going to be showing off or he's not he, but Nintendo will be showing off the new Switch 2 Pro Controller. Because we know we're getting a new Pro Controller. You would think so. They got to add in the C button, and then we might have other technology in there. That's the hope, right?
Yep.
Legend of Zelda, it will be present there. I think it will be in the form of a remaster remake. It's not going to be a new Legend of Zelda, although, I will say it could be teased, but that's not what I have on my bingo card. So this is what I'm going with. But I would just like to throw that out there. That keep in mind, everybody, that Tears of the Kingdom was finished long before it released.
That's right. They sat on it for like 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's 6 months that we know of, right? Could have been longer. Who knows? They could have been polishing it for a year. Madden Football returns. John's back. And for anyone who's wondering, I do expect NCAA to be back too. But honestly, I didn't want to put that on here because it just feels like a gimme. I think both of them are coming out to the release dates too. And NCAA 25 released in June of this year. So, I mean, if Switch 2 comes out in May or June, that's a great title to come out for the launch window.
When was the last time Madden was on a Nintendo platform? GameCube?
Wii?
It was on Wii.
Wii.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a long time though. It Just Dance. When have we had a direct that didn't have Just Dance?
Someone said that in the chat earlier too. They said no Just Dance slot. So it's,
I was a given.
I was debating between Assassin's Creed and Just Dance. I think Just Dance is the safer prediction.
Yeah, it's going to be there. It is. Then I have Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I know we're getting games from EA. It's been rumored. This is something that has long been suspected. That was my alarmo going off. By the way. It's it's 8 o'clock.
No, it's excited about Jedi Survivor.
Yeah. Tekken 8. Again, another rumor title that I believe will be there. Elden Ring. Again, we've all talked about it. I do think it will be a complete edition. It makes total sense. And yes, this was the game I was talking about that I'd love to see something with Link. But I will also say that, hey, if for some reason, this is a game I almost put on the list, which is Oblivion, the Oblivion remake. That would be a great candidate as well for something with Link. Mouse Joy-Con detailed, and I think the official mascot will be Mouser from Mario 2, as you guys see
That's
there.
good.
I
love it.
Love it.
Just
They
kidding.
did say in the upcoming Mario movie that they're going to add in characters that people aren't expecting that are a little niche. Great time to reintroduce Mouser to people in time for Mario Movie 2 next year. There you go.
Yeah,
Love
that'd
it.
be cool. I always liked Mouser a lot. Again, Final Fantasy 7. I think we're gonna get remake first, and then I think we'll get Rebirth, possibly in the launch window. So maybe 6 to 9 months down the road, maybe 12 months. But I do believe we're going to get all 3 parts of the Final Fantasy 7 remake trilogy. I've played these games. I've got the platinum on them. I absolutely love Final Fantasy 7. And again, this is a monumental thing. Just if you know the deep history with the Nintendo and the PlayStation and the Nintendo 64 and the story behind Final Fantasy 7 and how, Square's like, we can't put it on 64. We literally can't put it on a cartridge, guys. Like, we want to, but we can't. And that's when things changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Square's back now and everything's great again. And so this is really exciting because it opens the door to so many things, so many future possibilities. Like maybe even a sequel to Super Mario RPG. You never know. Next, I have enhanced backwards compatibility. I think that's going to be a thing. I think they are going to talk about it.
Love that.
Now I could have put Breath of the Wild 4K, right? But I think it's more than that. Okay. I do think that there's a lot of proof out there. There's Paper Mario Thousand Year Door with 4K in the code that we've talked about numerous times. I believe there's other games that could really, really take advantage of the DLSS with a patch. Now, as far as what it's going to cost, all that, I don't know. We'll see how they do it. We know PlayStation charges like $10. Xbox really doesn't charge anything, but they have the most consumer-friendly way of doing this. But I will say, if they charge $10, I think that's a great deal. I'd be very happy with that. Again, next we got the Assassin's Creed. I expect Assassin's Creed ports. So I think we're going to get obviously multiple Assassin's Creed games, but do you get Assassin's Creed Shadows or do you get last year's Assassin's Creed? We'll see. It could be both, but I expect Assassin's Creed ports to be there. Ubisoft needs to make money badly. So I'm thinking Mirage or Shadows, but I think we'll actually end up getting like all of the modern ones that are on PS4 as well. So
Yeah.
Valhalla, Odyssey, and Origins. For my bingo, I got Mario Kart launch title. As you guys can see there, I have the Rocket, also from Super Mario Brothers 2. For some reason, Mario Brothers 2 is getting a lot of love today.
I love
That's
that.
all I could think of. Yeah,
Such a good game.
it is. 2K. 2K is going to be there. 2K is always there. We need our sports.
They literally did play. They played basketball during the Switch 1 presentation and the teaser where they were sitting in the little basketball arena.
Yeah.
And they were playing the game on their little portable handheld mode or whatever. So yeah, 2K's the safe bet.
Yeah, and I was psyched to play it when it came out on Switch. However, again, yeah, it doesn't run great, but I expect it to run. I expect the performance to be on par now on Switch 2. So
sure.
it's actually going to be really exciting now, and I'll probably pick it up on there. Street Fighter 6. This is
It's a good pick.
it's an ongoing
Very
game
good
that's
pick.
always being updated. So again, Capcom wants to invite in the Nintendo install base to spend more money in their ecosystem, right? And again, Street Fighter has had plenty of success. If Ultra Street Fighter 2 on Switch 1 had the amount of success that it did, imagine what Street Fighter 6 could do.
And
Right.
to be fair, at this point, Street Fighter 6, I believe, is still only console exclusive to PlayStation. So this would be the second major console, right? Because it's PlayStation and PC, correct? It's not on Xbox?
I don't know if it's on Xbox.
I don't think it
It's a
is.
good question.
Yeah, so I think that would also be a pretty huge deal to have a second
Yeah.
console that Street Fighter is on. And again, you mentioned the relationship with Capcom. I feel like, Ryu and Ken are in Smash Brothers. I think like eventually we'll get Chun-Li in Smash Brothers at some point too. So I feel like this is a good thing to throw on there. That was almost on one of my third-party choices on my list. So I'm a little jealous that you snagged it.
It is on Xbox.
Yeah. It is on Xbox, really?
Yes.
Do you know when it got released on Xbox?
That I do not know.
I'll look it up real quick while you're going through the list.
The good news too is this is a game that came out on PS4. So this is a PS4 game. So this is also a game that fully expect to run great on Switch 2. Next up, guys, this is a game I've talked about so many times, and you know that. That's Indiana Jones. This is a very, very expensive IP. Not a lot of people bought this game.
Right.
The people who played it have Game Pass. Game Pass has been at a standstill. They really have not been growing subscribers, and Microsoft hasn't really given their fan base reason to have like more confidence. Despite them releasing a lot of like great games lately, it's more or less like their long-term trajectory, right? So this is not selling a lot physically. Obviously, it's coming to PlayStation in April 17th. But they also have the DLC coming out, the Giants DLC. And again, this is a great way to recoup your costs by releasing it on Switch 2. I played it on Series S. It ran flawlessly. I actually even played it using cloud on my Retroid Pocket 5, and it ran flawlessly. Dude, flawlessly. Wow. I was shocked. I was showing my girl, we were in bed. She's trying to sleep. I'm playing Indie. And Indie. I'm like, babe, look how good it looks. Like, this is crazy. She's like, But I was excited. I was like, imagine how it's going to look on Switch too.
I actually genuinely think if this was the 2000s, right? Early 2000s, I totally could have seen a campaign with what you just explained of like if they were marketing Indiana Jones, where it's like, hey babe, come to bed and get the whip tonight. And it's like on it. And you pull up your thing and it's Indiana Jones.
Yeah, back when they did like more
That's totally what and like the days of like the Maxim Game Pro, all those kind of things. I think that would have been totally something they would have done.
The late 90s, early 2000s gamer humor.
Exactly.
We totally couldn't get away with now, but yeah.
No way. Indiana Jones, really good pick though. That's another really good one. Yeah.
Thank you. Metaphor ReFantazio. Love this game. Played it, beat it. I said in my review, I literally said I expect this to come out on Switch too.
Yep.
So if you don't own a console that has a Metaphor, you should still be watching this because this is a game that is going to come out on Switch too. It's either going to be at launch or a launch window game. It's an amazing game. I could have picked Persona, right? I could have picked a different game from them, but I wanted to go with Metaphor. It's fresh off the presses. It's got some awards. It's an amazing game. So totally expect that. Doom: The Dark Ages. Again, we've talked about it so much. We have the rich history of Doom on Nintendo consoles dating back to the Super Nintendo. It was there with the red cart. We have Doom 64. We have all the Doom games. Literally all the mainline Doom games are playable on Nintendo Switch.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's wild. So totally expect to see Doom: The Dark Ages. Split Fiction. Again, this is a game that Michaela and I are playing right now. Loving it. And this is just such a great candidate for a Nintendo console. And again, like you said, Gamebird, because like with Nintendo, local co-op is more of a thing on Nintendo's console. It's been instilled. Yeah, it's been instilled in us really, we could say since childhood, but it really went hard with the N64 with the 4 controller ports, no longer having to buy a multi-tap.
Yeah. Yep.
This one makes a lot of sense. Totally see that. Red Dead Redemption 2. This is a game that, again, I've campaigned for a lot on this podcast. We got Red Dead Redemption on Switch. Okay. I think there is a reason they brought it out on Switch when they did later in Switch's life, because they knew they were going to be releasing Red Dead 2 on Switch too. So like, this is a game I really want to play portably and just really enjoy, because this is one that you could sink so many hours into. If you guys have played it, you know. but it would be really nice to be able to do that anywhere and like get up and move around and actually play it on the run. Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Call of Duty, obviously, I expect Call of Duty to be there in some way, shape, or form, be it sizzle reel, something. Contractually, I expect it to be there. Starfield. This is a game that needs to make money. Okay. Bad. And he was there for the Switch 1 with Skyrim. Todd Howard. I would not be surprised if he's there again. I would not be surprised if Nintendo invites him back to showcase a game. I really would not be. And I expect this to come out on PS5. It has not been officially announced yet. I think there is a reason why it hasn't, because they are waiting to announce it.
Oh, that's a good call.
Yeah, thank you. I think they're waiting to announce it at the same time. If you guys have played this game, you know that it should have no problem whatsoever running on Switch 2. I play it on Series S. This game isn't really pushing any boundaries graphically. One thing that it does that's kind of tough is like the procedurally generated planets and whatnot. But again, I think Switch will be able to handle that. Switch 2 just fine. Metal Gear. Again, we got the Metal Gear Solid collection. Okay. I do expect something from Konami. Now, if this was a dream wish list, I would have Castlevania right there. And we'd be getting Symphony of the Night 2 or something crazy like that, right? You know, like that might be on
time.
Yeah, it might be on my dream wish list.
That's right.
But Snake Eater, I really do think this is coming to Switch 2. I also wouldn't be surprised to see Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill F. But for now, I think we're going to get some representation from Solid Snake. Halo.
Nice.
Again, this is something we've talked about so many times on the podcast. I fully expect Halo to be on Nintendo. And this is one of those games that adds a lot of wow factor. Like, wow, what? This is crazy. Halo's on Nintendo now? It's a big deal. It's like when Sonic became available on Nintendo.
Totally.
Right? Yeah. It's like one of those big deal moments where like, if you've been around the scene your whole life and you see something like this, it's like, wow, that's full circle, man. Like Halo, the Xbox killer app is now on Nintendo. This is cool, dude. So Master Chief Collection, again, great opportunity to introduce the Nintendo fan base to Halo, and they are reworking Halo now. You know, they're completely reworking that IP for a relaunch. So it's a great time to get everyone familiar with it. And then for my final pick, God, I had such a hard time, guys. I went back and forth with so many titles. Like if I could have had more spaces, I would have. There's games like Diablo 4 that I'm like, shit, you know, is it Diablo or is it going to be Baldur's Gate, right? Like, which one's it going to be? Ultimately, though, I'd go with Baldur's Gate. I think Diablo will be there. If anyone puts that on their bingo card, I think it's a great choice. But Baldur's Gate, that was my final pick. And dude, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for this. Let's go, Nate.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I've been listening to all you guys. And the problem is I have to give a spoiler warning.
Okay.
Everyone in the chat. I'm about to ruin the
Excuse me. Sorry.
Oh gosh. Redemption. The redemption arc. Oh my gosh.
I was waiting just for him to speak.
All right. Show isn't over yet. We'll see what happens. This is the direct next week. All right.
Oh, number one, dude. I will need a change of friggin' pants.
They are going to tease the brand new.
Man, oh man.
I'm going to tell you why. It's coming out in 2028. Look historically on 3D Zelda. They tease 3 to 4 years before it comes out. Tease the new 3D Zelda. Yeah, it's going to be a ways off. But just that tease alone is going to make people want to buy Switch 2. Elden Ring. I was going to go specific and say Night Rain because I think they will get Night Rain, but I think they'll have to show the first Elden Ring first.
For sure.
So they might save Night Rain for a later announcement. So I'm going to go with the original Elden Ring, obviously complete edition or whatever the hell they want to call it. They are going to show the box, of course, because pre-orders are probably going up same day, right? But there'll be no games on it. They're going with that clean aesthetic of Switch. They're going to keep that going. No games on that box.
Watch it be like the most games they've ever featured on a Nintendo
on a box.
box.
I miss the days of the N64 though. Like I remember growing up and like waking up Christmas morning, 1998, getting Banjo-Kazooie, and then looking at the back of the box and being like, "Oh my gosh, look at all these other games!" And it was like, Zelda and Mario Kart and GoldenEye, and it was a great experience. I'd love. Even the Game Boy Advance had games on the box, didn't it? On the back. Yeah.
Yep.
Man.
Grand Theft Auto 6. Look, it's the only third-party game that matters. If we're being honest, in 2025, it's the only third-party game that matters, and it's coming to Xbox Series S. So I don't want to hear any excuses that they can't find a way to make it work on Switch 2. If they want it there, it'll be there.
I like the pick.
We have to understand, Switch, regardless of what anyone wants to say, what gen you want to counter it as, it's the market leader. Switch 2 is predicted to quickly become the market leader again. You're going to want GTA there. They're not going to want to skip that. I bet you there's some regrets that 5 was never put on Switch. They probably wish they bought it on Switch earlier.
How many copies of 5 did they sell? I'm like, I don't think they're really hurting.
You understand though, greedy companies always like to make more.
True.
20 million in sales on Switch. You don't know.
That's true.
I mean, look, people make fun of it. There's a ton of people that play Fortnite on Switch.
Oh yeah, of course.
Insane number, millions. So
what would be a good pick? GTA Online.
We're getting the full GTA 6.
They make so much money on that.
GTA, I looked at here. GTA 5 has sold 210 million copies.
It's like one of the best.
The only game that has sold more. The only game that has sold more in the history of video games is Minecraft. It's the only one.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
And then directly, what's number 3 though? I'm looking at this list. It's Minecraft, GTA 5. What do you guys think is number 3? It's a Nintendo game.
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Tetris. Sports.
Wii Sports.
Sports. Of course.
Wii Sports.
I was gonna say no, guys. You gotta be thinking in the 70, 80 millions range. Come on.
Wow.
All right. New 3D Mario, just a given. It's happening. It's been 8 years. We're seeing 3D Mario, even if it's not coming out this year. Maybe they release it around movie time. Doesn't really matter. They're going to show the damn thing.
Yeah.
A sortable home screen. And what I mean by this is we can customize what is shown on the home screen from the games. So you think of the current Switch, they have a couple ways you could sort it, but you can't force an order. You can't put your folders on your home screen. They'll let you do that on Switch 2. Indiana Jones, Great Circle. I don't really think it needs any explanation. Stash made the case for it right there. New exclusive Nintendo published IP. And I went with published IP because, while it probably will be a new made by Nintendo IP, sometimes they get Platinum Games involved. Sometimes they get other companies to make new IPs. So it's just Nintendo has to be the publisher of that IP, and it'll be in there. The Charge Grip. They're going to show it. It's going to be one of the hot selling accessories on launch day. Everyone likes being able to charge their grips all the time.
I was like, I didn't even know what this was. I haven't even heard of this. The Charge Grip.
Yeah, there's one for Switch, but they have to release a new one for Switch 2 because
the battery. Oh yeah, I guess there is. Yeah.
Yeah. It won't come with it because it never comes with it because it's you got to cut costs on the system, but they will sell it. I mean, we've heard shipping data. They've already got 41,000 as of January already in the US of this accessory. So they got to show it to sell it.
This is an official accessory. I've never seen this before in my life.
Yeah, so you don't have to put your Joy-Cons back on your Switch to charge it. Just keep playing.
What in the world? How am I just now finding out about this in 2025? Bro, I talk about Nintendo for a living. What am I doing not knowing what the Charge Grip was?
This is the Switch 2 Direct. I'm telling you right now. Dragon Quest 12. What's wrong with you guys?
I'll tell you why I didn't add it. You want to know why?
What?
They're going to show it on Dragon Quest Day.
Sure.
May 27th.
Sure.
They're saving it for that.
No, it'll be the second time they show it because they're going to tease it first on the number one selling platform in Japan.
I hope they do. I hope they do, dude. I hope you're right. But I went back and forth. I'm like, Dragon Quest Day is so close. They might wait.
Dude, Nintendo's the platform for Dragon Quest. It is what it is.
It is.
And
Yeah,
this game's already announced. Like, we already know it exists. They just haven't shown it. Now's the time. This is what they've been waiting for. The coup de grace for Nintendo. Hype up those Japanese fans and instantly become the #1 most wanted game in Japan.
But does it overshadow Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD that's coming out like any minute?
I don't think they care because that's going to Switch.
Also, that's like tomorrow. I mean, we're gonna for sure see that tomorrow. That's like a lock. You know, we know that's on Switch. We know
that's
the
like
release window.
Like,
Yeah.
It's also a Switch thing, and we're talking Switch 2 here.
Yeah.
So I ain't worried about that. It doesn't even have to. It could be coming later this year. It doesn't matter.
Hope you're right.
A new tier in NSO. I don't know what it's for, but it's there. Localized voice chat. That means on the system.
Cool.
I'm not saying they're going to get rid of the app, but the app ain't going to be for voice chat on Switch 2. Mario Kart, I did what a lot of you guys did. I felt weird if I just took a free space. I'm like, well, it's kind of free space anyways.
Yeah,
if there's no Mario Kart in this direct, then I don't even know what we're doing anymore.
Right, exactly. To be fair, what is Nintendo doing though? I don't think 2 weeks ago, I don't think any of us would have predicted a Switch 1 direct the week before. So here we are.
The king of curveballs.
I
That's
actually
right.
did on our podcast.
Did you really?
I said I wouldn't be surprised if we got a Switch 1 direct 1 week before the Switch 2 direct.
You're
I did say that.
Nostradamus, bro. It's amazing.
Just want to say. I didn't want to make sure.
Prophet Thunderstash over here.
Thunderstash on this show in particular has been speaking things into existence.
Look at that. I love that. Speaking of existence, Star Fox Adventures 2 right now. Speaking of existence.
I have been working on that.
So they're going to show off the new Smash Bros. Game.
Cool.
It's pretty simple. Look, I think Sakurai's been working on this thing for 3 years. And last one came out very early in the gen. They're going to show it off. They're not going to wait. Get people hyped. Even if it's not this year. June 6th is when it's coming out. I thought about June 5th. I thought about May 15th. We went June 6th because, look, there's just something about me that thinks, even though I've been saying it's going to be May, and I've been making the May 15th argument, and I've been buying into the Thunderstash logic, there's just too many reports and insiders saying June. But I don't think it can be late June.
That's fair.
I don't think middle of June makes sense either.
Yeah.
There's so many gaming events going on. You're going to want this system up before those events slap. So you're going to want it to be the first week. And while Nintendo usually does Thursdays, this is a console launch. I think they'll put it out on a Friday. So I'm going to go with June 6th. Halo Infinite. I think Master Chief Collection's tomorrow on Switch 1. Halo Infinite.
Oh.
Switch 2. That's what I think's happening. Backwards compatibility, you get it all on Switch 2. GameCube NSO. Maybe that's what the new tier is for. I don't know. But I feel like it's just announcing that, hey, this platform is going to get NSO things that Switch 1 can't. And I think that's a selling point they want to put out there. Doom: The Dark Ages. Don't think any explanation should be needed. Every Doom game's on Nintendo. So literally every Doom game is on Nintendo. If you go back and look, all of them. So Call of Duty. I wasn't sure how specific I wanted to get here because this could just be last holidays Call of Duty, or potentially Microsoft might want to tease the brand new one for this year here instead of waiting for June, just because they want to make a statement on Nintendo's platform that we're here and we're bringing our best. And our best is technically Call of Duty. It's not Halo. It's Call of Duty. That's Microsoft's game now. Yep. So I could see potential. It's probably last year's, but I wanted to leave that window open a little bit. That, you know what? Maybe Microsoft is. Look, I think Microsoft's going to be one of the #1 publishers on the system, anyways. So why not lead with teasing something that nobody expects? No one expects to see the new Call of Duty debuting on Switch 2 and a Switch 2 Direct. Literally,
you don't think so?
I don't think it's expected. I think most people just expect last year's Call of Duty to be ported over,
not the brand new one.
Yeah, not the new one that's going to come out this upcoming holiday. Now we expect that one, but not here. Like announced later when they would normally do Call of Duty at the Microsoft event in June. But I think Microsoft wants to make a statement.
I do too.
We want to be the #1 selling third-party company on Switch 2.
They're gonna be. I would make that bet.
Seems, I mean, literally Minecraft alone, you could say that. You have Minecraft and Halo. It's like
Minecraft, Halo, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
But I think Square Enix might make a strong argument too at some point.
Maybe.
Because they got a lot. Dragon Quest, the Final Fantasies.
They'll make a strong argument. They will. But they won't be first. They'll be top 5, no doubt. Possibly top 3.
Absolutely. So Switch 1 upgrades, pretty simple, right? Switch 1 games will be upgraded on a Switch 2. However they do it, maybe it's the new tier, maybe it's just all of them, maybe it's none of them. but whatever. And one of those upgrades is going to be Breath of the Wild 4K. You guys already see that on the bottom row. I think they're not going to show a ton of it. They're just going to show enough to make people go, oh, I don't mind that that's coming. Because right now people are like, I don't want to see. Look, that's why they teased the 3D Zelda. The brand new 3D Zelda game. They teased it so they can get away with being like, oh, by the way, we're dropping Breath of the Wild 4K day one. If you don't want to buy it, you're not going to buy it, but it's there. $399. Look, it's the common price point. I find it very hard, especially here in the US, when they're trying to go higher than that. And then you're getting into the territory of some other platforms out there that maybe you don't want to be directly compared to price for performance. I think $399 is that sweet spot, because Furukawa did come out and say, hey, we can't just consider what's best for us. We have to consider consumer expectation. I think that's a big key word there. Consumer expectation is not for Nintendo systems to be $450, $500. Like, they expect it to be affordable. $399, I think, is that sweet spot. Hell, I almost thought about putting $350 on this sumbitch. But
oh, I don't know about all that. That's like, it's definitely, I can see where your brain is because of like the OLED and the Switch and the Switch Lite and how none of them have had price drops yet. But I do feel though that is almost like, I could maybe see the 350 drop once there is like an OLED edition of Switch 2 or something, right?
Yeah,
I think that's how you're going to get your 450 at some point, is going to be like with an OLED edition in like a year and a half or something, or 2 years. Yeah, but I still feel like base Switch 2 is probably 400. Yeah,
they're not dropping the price.
No.
But that's why I went with $399. I'm like, for a company not going to drop the price, probably $399. But I do think that there's one of those things where they've never launched a system at $350 and been successful. Going higher than that and assuming success, maybe they consider the 350 point, but I do think $399 is probably where they're going to be at, because it makes more sense to line up with other territories outside the US. Where, unfortunately, it is going to be probably more expensive. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion 4. Like, it's just time. It's just time, and I think that's October game. I think it's just time.
I like it.
Nintendo Sports. I don't know if it's a Switch Sports 2. I'm not really sure, but some sort of Nintendo Sports game that is going to be evergreen. They like evergreen games in the launch window because they will sell for the next 8 years. Something like a Switch Sports 2 or whatever they want to call it. They probably won't call it 2 because they don't use the numbers. But, their Wii Sports Resort, this is the time to drop it at launch, show off all the new tech, and it's just going to go on to sell like 20 million copies over the course of the platform. So I fully believe launch is all about evergreen, evergreen, evergreen. Don't care what it sells now because it's going to keep selling.
Sure.
New Pro Controller. I figured, that was a little free space for me. Look, they have to have a new Pro Controller because at least the C button, right? So there's got to be a new Pro Controller. I'm hoping for additional features. I would love I get that you go with digital triggers on the Joy-Cons, but it would be sweet if we had the analog option on the Pro Controller. I would also be sweet if it would be sweet if you threw in some of the PlayStation 5 controller options. I know that's pipe dreaming. That's the pipe. That's the dream. Give me that PS5 controller. But hey, I think they're going to have to show it because, again, it's another one of those day one accessories they want to sell a lot of. And they probably will sell a lot of them. And look, my free space was also going to be a bonus that they were going to announce that, like, if you keep your old Joy-Cons, all your old Switch accessories are compatible with the system because it's all Bluetooth. But, because people get worried a little bit about when Nintendo said, hey, not all games are going to be backwards compatible. What they mean is if you don't have the Switch One Joy-Con, you won't be able to play the games.
Right. Your things like your Ring Fit Adventures and your whatever else uses because the Ring Fit Adventure thing slides in with the old Joy-Con and other new Joy-Cons click. Yeah. So, but I'm sure they'll remedy that with Ring Fit Adventure 2 on Switch 2 at some point.
The Switch needs the IR camera.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, technically, I think everything will just play on the system, but
of course, you're going to have your old Joy-Cons. You'll be able to use your old Joy-Cons.
As long as you have your old Joy-Cons, it's one of those but they know some people are going to trade in their system for the new one, and then be like, oh, but this game doesn't work. Well, yeah, because you need the old Joy-Con.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Here's what it is. And let me tell you guys, there's no shortage of old Joy-Con out there, thanks to that old drift issue.
That's right.
There's a lot of them out there. Let me tell you, millions and millions. You have no problem finding some if you need to. Now, ones that aren't drifting, that's a different story, but they're out there.
Mine, to be fair, all mine haven't drifted. Mine good. I lost 2 to drift, and they were the very first Joy-Cons I ever got. They were my neon blue, neon red with my original launch Switch, and those did start to drift. And actually, Reagan, she had the Smash Edition Switch, like when that came out in 2018, and hers started to drift as well. Yeah.
Oh.
But otherwise,
I was
none of
gonna
my
say,
modern ones.
The
have.
reason none of your modern ones have not dripped because you haven't played a game since 2017. Moving on.
I stream every day. What do you mean?
I know you do. I know. I'm just yanking.
I'm like, I got my custom. I even ordered my little custom atomic purple ones that I use every day. I love these.
Yeah, I saw those online. Those are sick.
Very cool.
Yeah,
I'm planning to do that almost like day one with Switch 2.
Oh, fun. You should look up. I'm sure there's going to be like sellers on Amazon that sell shells because that's how I did. It was like 20 bucks. You just put the new shell on and that was it. Yeah,
it's fun. It's
so
it looks beautiful.
Before we move on to talking about the direct tomorrow, is there like any games that we're just like, hey, this will be launch window. It's just not going to be talked about right now. Is there any games we're thinking, hey, in the next 9 months or 9 months after launch, this game will be there. It's just not going to be talked about next week
or during the direct? Power Wash Simulator 2 and Ruffy in the Riverside or whatever that game is. Both of those.
Yeah. You mean you could replay Lee?
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's another one.
Those will get talked about. They'll be in the launch window probably.
Yep.
Ocarina of Time remake.
Oh,
I am also team Ocarina of Time remake. I think it's happening for 2028. I feel like they are going to hit that 30th anniversary. I think they'll probably talk about it sooner rather than later. I am completely 100% in your boat. I've heard people argue against this. I'm like, there's no way. Ocarina of Time.
No, I don't think we see it in camera.
Whoa! What was that?
They know you're about to make a point.
They're like zooming on in. Yeah.
Nostradamus. Hello.
That's crazy.
No, I think let me fix that.
There you go.
Sorry about that.
I was just wondering how you were doing over there.
That was beautiful. I love that.
No, I think that September. I think big September direct for Switch 2.
Oh yeah,
diving deeper
into
second year. Going into the second year of Switch 2. I think we'll see Ocarina of Time remake tease.
By the way, look, I don't know why none of us did this. This is like just guaranteed launch window. There's going to be a Bomberman and a Tetris.
Right. We just talked about that. Bomberman and Tetris are for sure there. Yeah.
I just didn't do it because it felt cheap. I wanted to have like more fun.
Yeah. Coming from the guy who put Just Dance there, I don't want to hear it. Thunder.
But that was kind of a joke because it's so stupid that it's always there.
It's awful easy.
Also, technically, we know for a fact it's going to be on Switch 2 because day one you could play Tetris 99 and Tetris Effect Connected and Tetris on NSO. NES and Super Nintendo. So it's there for sure.
I'm not counting backwards compatibility. Come on now. If that's
Tetris 999, you fight 998 other people.
There we go.
On
screen.
Right.
Your little game thing is like
one little pixel in the corner. Yeah.
Yep. It's
I have a bunch of games that I think are launch window.
Okay, well you got to
see them.
Okay. Armored Core.
Oh,
that's a good call. That's a good one.
Thank you. I think we're gonna see the Batman Arkham games or Gotham Knights. They really need to recoup costs from Suicide Squad.
Sure. Yeah.
Like badly. And Gotham Knights is actually rumored to come out on Switch 2. There's an old rumor, but I don't see why it wouldn't happen.
Also, you said that. I'm thinking back to your lovely launch presentation that you made. Batman Vengeance was there at GameCube. Yeah. Batman the Telltale one was there for Switch, and Batman Arkham was there for Wii U.
Yep.
So and I think there was one for Wii as well. What was the Wii Batman game that was around launch? I have to go back, look at your slide, pull up your slide real quick and see. But I think
the Telltale. It was the Telltale.
Telltale was the Switch one. I'm thinking of the Wii one. What the one for Wii was, but there has been one almost every launch. That's interesting that you bring that up. Yeah, Gotham Knights is a good call.
I'm looking right now for Batman. I think it was on.
It was the Wii U. Got that with all the features on the gamepad. The Arkham,
right? Arkham City.
Batman Vengeance. Okay, on GameCube.
On GameCube, Batman Vengeance on GameCube, right? And then the Telltale one for Switch.
And then did we have one? We didn't.
Yeah, Wii U definitely did with Arkham. Yeah, I know for sure because that's how I played it.
I have it on my shelf. Yeah, we didn't have one for Wii though. No Batman on Wii.
Interesting.
Yeah, just like a Lego one or something like that.
So okay, so I do expect Animal Crossing within the launch window because I expect it to be an evergreen title, and I believe the reason that they stopped updating it such a long time ago, back in 2021, was to work on the new game and get it out earlier on Switch 2 so you can make money faster.
Long roadmap of DLC.
Exactly. I think something, I really believe this. I really do. And I talked about this, I think, months ago when I brought up its 30th anniversary. I think something is cooking with Chrono Trigger. I really do.
Dude, if that is like an HD 2D, I mean, I'll cry. Again, that's like a Banjo-Kazooie level thing that like
it
would
is
get
for me
to die
too.
on stream. Man, oh man.
Dude, I really believe that is the game, the perfect game for HD 2D.
Yeah.
It's the game that we all love, that we still can't stop talking about. Literally 30 years later, it's the Dream Team game. And it's like, dude, HD 2D Chrono Trigger 30th anniversary. I mean, easy money, right? Easy money. So this is one of those games that I think would exceed Square Enix's sales projections for once.
I believe it. Yeah.
Diablo 4 again. I think that's going to be there.
I agree.
I think Dragon Age. Dragon Age
was, I think, on somebody's list too.
I put Dragon Age.
Yours, good. It needs to recoup costs.
Yep.
I think there's a chance we get Dragon's Dogma 2. We got Dragon's
that's
Dogma
a good call too. Yeah.
on Switch.
Yeah.
Let's see. I got one that I really think is going to come out, and it's because of the TV show too. We're gonna get Fallout 4 on Switch too.
My brain went to Last of Us, and I was like, I know they're putting PlayStation games on other systems now, but I'm like, wait a minute, they're not putting.
No way.
We're not getting Last of Us on Switch too.
No way. That'd be badass, but never in a million years.
No way.
That one.
No
but
way.
Fallout, I think,
for sure,
makes a lot of sense. They relaunched it on PS5, if you guys recall.
Mm-hmm.
4K 60. It looks amazing, but they did that because of the show. It only makes sense to introduce that to Nintendo, get more people, of course, to watch the show, and it's just a way to make more money on everything.
Yeah.
Right.
I think Flight Simulator will eventually come out.
Yep.
I thought about a dream scenario. Dude, what about a Flight Simulator Pilot Wings collaboration?
That'd be super fun.
That'd be cool.
They'd be really cute.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. It'd be a great way to bring it back. Forza Horizon. I think we're getting that. I think we're getting a we need a racing game like that. We're never going to get a Gran Turismo. We don't get test drives, right?
We have Burnout Paradise already on the Switch though, which is the best racing game ever made. So who needs
Burnout's
anything else?
badass. Everybody loves Burnout.
Take me down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Oh, won't you please take me home? That game
Such a great game.
Love it.
Hades 2. I actually think Hades 2 might be there at launch, but it might be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which is why I didn't put Hollow Knight on my list, because it's like these games could be there tomorrow, but I do expect Hades 2. Do you guys think that one's
sure?
Yeah, lock. Yeah.
Spoilers. I think Hades 2 is likely for tomorrow.
I agree.
Yeah, I think Hades 2 could be tomorrow, and I don't even know if they'll do a Switch 2 version, because you can just play it
on Switch and then have it up-resed or something. Yeah.
Okay. I think we get Hogwarts Legacy Director's Cut. WB actually talked about a Director's Cut.
Yeah.
That's a great pick.
Yeah, that's also a really good.
I like that.
Again, I almost put it with my games that are going to be shown at the April 2nd, but I don't know if Nintendo wants to show games that are already out on Switch 1, because it could confuse the consumer. And they might say, hey, WB, you know what? Let's show some other stuff, actually. But we'll have a different time to show this game.
Mm-hmm.
Again, another one that I wanted to put on the list, which is Kingdom Hearts. Native, not the cloud horseshit.
The native version. Sure, that's a good choice.
Yeah.
I mean,
Kingdom Hearts
would
thrive on Switch.
When 4 releases, it will be a Switch 2 game, guaranteed. Like, I mean, that's like no doubt about it, knowing Square and like what their business practice is now moving forward, getting things on multiple systems.
We're getting everything.
Having it be Unreal. It's all going to be on there. And I think that's a super, super good pick of having it like where it's a native version. You don't have to have the cloud.
Yeah, nobody
people
wants
would be happy
that.
about that. No.
And I don't know about you guys, but my whole life since Kingdom Hearts came out, and I had it pre-ordered at Toys R Us, all I could think is like, why is this not out on Nintendo? This is so perfect. This is so perfect especially for the demographic back then.
Yeah.
During the GameCube era. It's never made sense, and it can make so much money on Nintendo. It's silly. Mario Rabbids collection, I think we get.
Sure, yeah.
Sure.
That'd be cool.
I could see Mafia coming to Switch 2.
The new one?
The new Mafia games coming out.
Yeah.
The definitive editions are on PS4 that are obviously HD and run way better. I could see them bringing those over to pave the way for the old country.
Yeah. I'm excited for that one.
Dude, same here. I mean, being Italian, it's like, love
Di
this
Luigi.
shit.
I mean,
I ate it up, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Games, man. I put so many hours in, and now we're going to Italy. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm actually really
That's gonna be
excited
fun.
about going to the old country. So, Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Totally expect this. Totally do.
Mm.
This is a game that didn't do as well as it should have. We got Mass Effect on Wii U. Why wouldn't we get this? And they've had to have been cooking something for a while with Mass Effect. It's been very quiet. Mass Effect Day comes and goes. The last one didn't do well. This would be a good way to introduce it to the Nintendo install base, the new install base. Obviously not the one from Wii U. It's obviously grown quite a bit since then.
Sure.
This is a great way to pave the way. And again, this game's already done. It runs on it's a PS4 game. It runs better on PS4 Pro,
Yeah.
but it's already done, man. Just port it on over.
You mentioned Mafia earlier. I don't know if it's on your list, but I also feel like
Yeah.
Yakuza is another choice. They're probably going to have a lot of Yakuza games on Switch too.
They
on my
need
list,
that
too.
whole
Kiwami-
series on there.
Yeah, I mean, Kiwami like exceeded their expectations with Switch. They've already said like in the first week it exceeded their expectations of what they thought was going to happen with that game.
I
They
bought
did a
it.
whole campaign for it. I bought it on Switch as well. I love it.
Yeah.
And like a Dragon Pirates in Hawaii just recently came out. It's really fun. I think both Infinite Wealth and the original Like a Dragon, I think are probably in the Switch 2 Direct. I think they're both
I had
going to
a
be in
really
that
hard
sizzle reel.
time. Yeah, I had a very hard time not adding it to my bingo as a sizzle reel. So again, if anyone's struggling with your bingo card, it's probably a really
Use
good
all
pick.
of us. Yeah, right.
But yeah, I
it's a
totally
great pick.
expect that. Guys, I wouldn't be surprised if Monkey Ball is there in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if you guys just saw it too yesterday. You see Pac-Man is being added to Monkey Ball.
Mhm.
Yep.
I did see that.
That's,
Yeah.
that's smart. I'm like, that's a good mashup, actually. Ninja Gaiden. Again,
Yeah, we got a new one.
we just got a new one. And we have the side-scrolling Ninja Gaiden coming out, the platformer. So again, that's another one that makes sense. Oblivion remake, Persona 3 Reload, Resident Evil 4 remake. We're getting a Resident Evil. It's just see, again, another one I had a hard time putting on the list because it's like, Capcom, where do you want to start? Do you want to give us Resident Evil 2? Like, you want to go chronological, give us the 2 remake, 3 remake, then 4, and then obviously Village and everything. But I expect we're gonna get all of it, right?
All the Resident Evil games, every single one. I think the remake games. I don't necessarily think the new Resident Evils, like whatever they're making, whether it's like a remake of 5, whatever they're doing next, I don't think necessarily is guaranteed for Switch 2. But I do 100% believe RE4 remake, especially considering the history that RE4 had with GameCube.
With GameCube, yes.
I think all of the other, like the native version of Village and 7, which are both, I think, already on Switch, right? The cloud versions. So I think that's like a no-brainer. And then I think, RE2 remake and RE3 remake from a couple of years ago are both going to be on there too. Yeah.
Yeah, I expect all of those physically. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Yep.
And then Visions of Mana.
Oh, that's a good call. Good choice.
I wanted to put it on my list, but I don't know what is going on because they laid off that whole development studio.
Yeah.
Remember? Like, they laid it off, I think, a week before the game released, or it was the day it was released.
Well,
and I'm
the game
like,
wasn't even out.
Dang.
And they're like, bye.
and yeah, for the longest time, I have been under the belief that Visions of Mana will be coming to Switch 2, but I just don't know like how it's going to be handled now.
They talked to Nintendo and got them to use that studio they bought in the US to port it over.
That port house. What were they
There
called
you go.
again?
I don't know. They're in
The
Florida.
one that they acquisition them recently.
Yeah.
Nintendo
Yeah.
literally just bought them,
Yeah, they
and I think
purchased
it was probably for the purpose of Switch 2. I don't know if this was discussed, but like
It was,
that's
yeah.
again late last year. There was a lot of stuff that came out that everyone seems to have forgotten about. That now Switch 2 is actually happening, and no one talks about it. One of them is that development studio that they acquisition that specifically worked on bringing games over, and the other one, of course, was that Nintendo Switch Online playtest. And now we're in a situation where it's like we're moving into it. It's like this stuff is coming, you know.
Yeah.
That playtest game didn't make any of our bingo cards. Could be a
That's tomorrow. I think that's tomorrow.
I
I
think-
feel like
Ooh.
almost
I think it is
guaranteed. I
too.
think it shadow drops tomorrow. I think
Okay.
they
Oh,
announce whatever the playtest is, because they said specifically when that playtest happened, they mentioned that it's on Nintendo Switch and its family of systems. That's a new feature coming to Switch Online for Switch family of systems. Bro, the Switch has one more week before it becomes irrelevant. 1 week. So if you're gonna have it on there, and they already said that Switch Online. Well, no, it's the family, of course, but like they already said that the Switch Online stuff is coming to Switch 2. So whatever it is going to carry over.
Sure,
but that thing is tomorrow. Like no doubt in my mind, lock it in. One of the 5 things I think is definitely happening is that.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we're looking for Shiver.
Yeah.
Shiver.
Thank you. Yes,
Shiver. Thank you.
And
Shiver.
I think they're still porting because there was a recent hiring post on Nintendo's website for them, and they were talking about bringing games from other platforms to Switch. So,
Correct. That's why I
Literally,
think this
report.
with that whole list that Thunderstash just gave and everything we already mentioned, I feel like people are underestimating, maybe not people who are in the Nintendo sphere, but like I think people outside of it are truly underestimating like how big the third party turnout is going to be on this thing. Like it is really going to be absurd.
The floodgates.
it's going to feel like it has
open.
everything. It's literally going to feel like it has everything. It won't literally have everything, but it's going to feel like it. And look, we've had Paul Gale come on. He knows a bunch of developers. I know a few. I know you know some. Everyone, like everything I've heard and everyone has heard is, dude, everyone's just like all in on this shit.
Of course. Why wouldn't you be? Naturally, it's like
it's like, oh, we skipped Switch. That was a mistake. We ain't fucking around this time. We're gonna be there. So that's just awesome. I can't wait. There's gonna be so much. I think we should transition to the.
I got one more thing.
You want to toss in?
Oh, let's hear it. Yeah.
I want to see them bring back Street Pass. For
me too, man. So badly. I want
it's
them to
such
bring
the
back
pipe
Street
dream. You
Pass.
might as well have said Miiverse.
Yeah.
Before we
Miiverse
switch,
seems more likely though because we have the C button on there that could mean connect for like a social media type thing. I feel like Miiverse is more likely to come back in my brain than Street Pass is. Unfortunately,
I don't think either.
I want Street Pass to come back so badly though.
I don't think either will come back. But that being said, it would be nice.
Before we switch to the next topic, I said Ocarina of Time. I didn't finish my list though. It's just a few things. I won't describe them. I'll just read them off just for the sake of time. So Ocarina of Time was the first one that I could see being revealed this year or within the first 9 months. GameCube coming to NSO.
Yes,
I didn't put on my bingo
guaranteed.
card. I'm not 100% sure that it's going to be at that first direct.
I'll put my money on it. It's for
Fair
sure.
enough.
We make
First
it a
year
bet right
Switch
here?
2.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
happy to make a bet. Yeah, GameCube is coming to NSO. Guaranteed.
I think it's
lock
coming to
it in.
NSO
Yes.
this year, though.
I
for
agree.
sure.
I think it's this year. Yes.
Not necessarily Switch 2 related. However, I do think we will see the trailer for the second Mario movie this year.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
a new peripheral based game like Ring Fit. So I think we're going to get some new peripheral based game like Ring Fit. A new Donkey Kong game I think we could see by the end of the year. And then lastly, I wanted to add one more what some might consider an impossible port that I could totally see dropping on the Switch this year, or at least being revealed this year, is Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah, you know what?
That's
That
a
was
good
one I
one.
thought about too.
Yeah.
Dude, that was one I thought about
Witcher
and I
3
forgot
on the original
about.
Switch. So
Yep.
they could totally do Cyberpunk. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I thought about that game when I was away from my computer and then forgot about it. Literally, it was a game I wanted to put on. So I'm glad you mentioned that. So everyone, that is
Good
a
choice.
great one too.
Yeah.
I do have 3 more. Okay.
Let's hear 'em.
Sure. Quick. Let's get them in.
New Ease game, Tomb Raider trilogy,
Okay.
and Blades of Fire by Mercury Steam. That
Okay.
game's coming out
Very
soon.
interesting.
I see that on
Great
Switch too.
I'll up your 3 more then. I'm going to go 3 more. Marvel Rivals, Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact. Done.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll give you one
That's it.
free-to-play game that I really think is going to be there
Yeah.
on Switch 2, Infinity Nikki.
Oh, that's also.
Oh wow!
That
I've
game's
actually got
straight
4.
money.
I actually just got 4 more. I'm just kidding. Prime.
Boom! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Yeah,
Infinity Nikki's a really good choice though, because
Yeah.
that game doesn't really have a good way to play that portably. Like if you play it on an
doesn't.
iPad, you need the weird touch thing. That's a great.
I just don't know if they'll talk about it at the Switch 2 Direct, but I believe it would be there on day one.
Wow, that's awesome.
I tried, guys.
Very
I
nice.
tried.
I'll play
Next
it.
topic.
Yes.
Let's get to it. All right. So our final topic, besides the little
Yes.
Q&A section at the end. Thank you for all the super chats so far in the live show. Really appreciate it. We'll get to all of that during the Q&A section. But let's go ahead and we can't look. This wasn't part of today's docket. We only had 2 top Rogers bases. I told them a week ago, hey, here's the 2 topics.
Mhm.
Like we're
That's
done.
it. We're done.
But like we can't go the eve of a Nintendo Direct and not talk about that Nintendo Direct.
Of course.
There's a Nintendo Direct tomorrow. I mean, we're hours away.
Mhm.
Mere hours
11.
away.
Yeah, almost 10 hours away. Almost 10 hours away.
Like we
Yeah.
can't just pretend it's not happening. So let's get some quick predictions in for what we feel like is happening tomorrow. Obviously, we've thrown a few out throughout the show because it's so hard to ignore that.
Sure.
Holy shit, we're getting 2 full General Directs in a week. What is happening? So let's go around the room. Just throw let's say 5 predictions from each of
Great.
us around the
Make it
room
quick.
here.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Well, Roger, you look like you're ready to go. I'll just toss it to you quick. 5
Cool.
predictions.
Metroid Prime 4 Beyond blowout. We're going to get a ton of information, release date for the game, gameplay, lots of stuff. I think this is where those rumors about it not being at the Switch 2 Direct are coming in, because I think it's going to be like a major portion of this. I still think it's BS that it's not going to be there. I think they will showcase the graphical differences, but I do think tomorrow, huge blowout for Metroid Prime, no doubt about it. That's number 1. Number 2, I think that Switch Online playtest thing is becoming a reality. Whatever that new feature of NSO is, if maybe they add a new other system or something, but there is going to be an NSO update, and whatever that thing is, that playtest is going to be in some fashion in that Direct. The third thing, I'm so glad you brought it up earlier, Game Bird. This is why I went, but then I was like, I'm going to save it. I actually think this is where we get Mario Movie 2 news. We didn't get it on Mario Day. We are now 1 year away from that movie. We don't know any casting thing other than the returning cast. We don't really know anything about the plot. We don't really know anything about that movie. We are now fast approaching the point where it would be under a year to find out information. They're going to have to get it out. I think they'd rather get it out in this Direct, much like they did with the casting announcements of the first one. People, I think, misremember that, in that the casting Direct was a Mario Movie Direct. It wasn't. Mario Movie Direct was for the trailer and not for the casting announcements. I think there's going to be a casting announcement for the Mario movie tomorrow. Reminder of when the movie is coming out next year. I think that's going to be happening, and they're going to do that in the Direct. The fourth thing I think that we're going to see during this, I think it's going to be ports galore. I'm talking like Robobot, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, whatever. I think this is the do or die moment for all the ports and remasters. I think if it has been rumored for Switch and it's been talked about and it's not here, then people were full of shit and that wasn't coming in the first place. It's going to happen tomorrow, or that's it. So all those people talking about all these ports and all these remasters, show up or shut up tomorrow. This is going to be it. Port and Remaster Central. And the last thing that I think we're going to see in this Switch 2 Direct, and I've thought about it a lot, and I'm talking about it, and I've seen all these rumblings about third party, something making waves that is going to get people talking. I really think the days of copium and hopium are over. I think Silk Song is actually the closer tomorrow. I think they open with Metroid Prime 4. I think they got the ports and remasters, some Mario movie stuff, and the what was the other thing I mentioned? The ports and remasters, Mario movie, and then something else. What was the other thing?
Metroid.
No, Nintendo Switch Online. All that stuff's in the middle. They start with Metroid, they end with Silk Song. Boom. There's your final Switch Direct for the Switch era. Yeah.
Damn.
All right. Eric, you got 5 predictions?
I don't have 5 predictions, but I just have one kind of major one. They're going to kind of roadmap their continued support for Switch 1. Kind of just give an update on, we're going to continue supporting this for, the X number of years or whatever type of thing. They're just going to give you a hard, this is what our plan is, going forward with this.
Okay.
This is Switch 1.
Oh, cool. Game Bird.
All right. Let's see. Ports, Roger said it perfectly. This is going to be ports galore. Just makes a lot of sense. Next one, I also agree with Roger. I think there's going to be some sort of an NSO update. I gotta turn off this.
Zooming in as it's going in. Exactly.
I think there's going to be an NSO update. I'm not sure what that means, but I think something is coming to NSO. We know that they've removed some of the rewards programs, or they're removing some of the rewards programs with NSO. So maybe we get some replacements for that, or what we can expect down the road. You guys mentioned this one earlier. I've been saving it for this. I actually think this might be the direct that we see Chrono Trigger. I'm not convinced it's HD 2D. I could see them dropping this on NSO service. This is one of those ones where, like, yes, I'd die if we got Chrono Trigger in HD 2D. Beautiful, crisp graphics, orchestrated soundtrack. At the same time, I also think this is a perfect game that doesn't necessarily need that. So it's like two sides of a coin. So ports, NSO, Chrono Trigger. I think we might see Professor Layton. We know Professor
that's
Layton's
another
coming.
One for sure. I forgot about that. Yeah.
I don't think that's a game that you need to showcase on the Switch 2. I think it's one they could re-show on the Switch 2, maybe mouse support. It is a puzzler. Lastly, this is another one that I don't think necessarily needs to be on Switch 2 and could definitely land tomorrow. And this would be a really cool one for a lot of people, I think. And that's the next game from Creative Business Unit. Now, they were bought out by Kadokawa, the same company that bought out Front Software, but they do Octopath and Triangle Strategy. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that tomorrow and it landed on the Switch 2. What's everyone laughing at? What idea? What's wrong?
Nothing.
No, nothing. I'm in agreement. I like it.
You'll see what's about to go down. Well, since what's about to go down, not that stash. You have to go next is what I have to do. So.
Yep.
Okay. Paid up what you're putting down. Okay, so I do think this is going to be a real Metroid blowout. Like, it's going to be, you could say, prime time for Metroid. I think we're going to get Prime 2 and 3. We absolutely need to get these games out. I think it's silly if Nintendo thinks that they can ask their audience to play Metroid Prime 1 and then go play Part 4.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, go watch the first Star Wars and then the fourth one. Go watch the first Harry Potter and then the fourth one. Don't worry about 2 and 3. It has nothing to do with the story. Like, come on, you can't do that shit. So I do expect 2 and 3 to come out. I almost feel like it might be a double pack. And if you would have asked me 6 months ago, I would have thought that we would have had 2 out already and that 3 would be on its way to kind of pave the way for 4. Now I feel like you kind of got to probably do this as a double pack. But at the same time, that guarantees people are going to try both games if they just buy the one SKU, which is actually what you need to get into Part 4. And we know Nintendo needs to do this in order to, get Metroid Prime 4 to that upper echelon of sales. So those are 3 games right there.
I knew it was coming. I can see him sitting there holding it and going.
Last time after talking, I was trying to wait for it to be between.
Yeah. Oh man,
couldn't wait.
All right, so here's my other 2 games. I will say there's one game on here, guys, that I think is going to be announced for Switch 1 later this year. And that'll be at the Mario 40th Direct. We'll get Super Mario Galaxy 2 HD on Switch 1. That way, the whole Switch audience gets to celebrate Mario's 40th with Galaxy 2 HD. And then Switch 2 owners will celebrate with the new 3D Mario.
I like it.
But what I do think we'll get is 2 indie games. And that is, of course, Silk Song. Again, I just didn't know if I wanted to put it here April 2nd, but we're going to put it here. And the other one is by Yacht Club Games. We're doing an update. It's a game I'm hyped for. Mina the Hollower.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Good.
Hey,
waiting for that one.
All right, so I got 5. Look, did a video earlier, so kind of recap some of the stuff in the video. But I think Master Chief Collection's tomorrow. think it happens. I think that's the game that Jeff Grubb knows about. I was talking about, hey, this is the game people are going to be talking about after the show because it's
Halo. I mean, it's a huge deal. Yeah, of course.
Huge.
It's on Nintendo. And if you think about it, Crash came over, and Crash used to be considered a mascot for Sony, even though technically Sony didn't own it. It didn't matter. People felt like it was. So you got Crash over. You get, obviously you get this over. If it's not that, well, no, never mind. I'm gonna hold that. I have a thought on something I wanted to throw into the Switch 2 stuff. I'll wait till the Q&A area to get to it. Okay, so there's that. Donkey Kong. Look, I think Donkey Kong's on Switch. This game has been rumored for like 3 years. And I think it's a Switch game. And I think people are going to be a little disappointed because it's probably side-scrolling. And people want 3D.
I'll take it.
I'm shocked. You really think there's
It won't be a country game either. It won't even be a country game.
Wow.
No, I don't think there will be, personally, but I will gladly take it.
Yeah,
would love to see it.
Wow.
My number 3. This kind of goes along with Eric. I do think that there's going to be like a roadmap, but I don't think they're going to like reveal a specific roadmap. I think they're going to show what the whole lineup that Nintendo at least has planned for the rest of this year and the first half of 2026. I think they're going a year out to be like, hey, even though Switch 2 is coming, we have games for you sprinkled for the next 12 months on Switch. Maybe it's not every month like it once was, but it's still 6 of them every other month. We have something coming away. So this is where you get to the 4th one, and I think this is just a given because at this point, who doubts Nate the Hate? Kirby Planet Robobot HD.
Yeah, it seems like a lock. Yeah,
I think it's a lock too.
Like he said this year, so it's going to be a this year game. And I agree with the Metroid Prime 4 stuff. Obviously, I think there'll be a date tomorrow. That's one of the big games left for Switch. I kind of think they might, and I didn't put this in my video, but I'm starting to lean more and more towards it as time goes on. We still don't have a date for Legends ZA. And they've been putting Pokemon games in directs as of last year.
That's hold on. I know as the resident Pokemon guy, let me explain.
I know what you're gonna say.
They do Pokemon stuff in directs occasionally. They will release Pokemon stuff. They do not ever have never, will never, would be unprecedented, do release date announcements in directs ever. But there is a high likelihood, I believe, that they could do some mega evolutions or something, that they show something related to ZA, like they maybe do a character trailer or a Pokemon reveal or something, but release date.
I'll tell you what, we live in a land of unprecedented. We've never
we do. We're getting 2 back-to-back Nintendo Directs. That's true.
Yeah. So, new president.
Land of
right. Right. Well, kind of. Yeah.
But
yeah, right.
I look at it like this. That's fine. I don't think there's a Switch 2 version of ZA. So I
agree. I don't think there is.
If they don't announce it now, they could get buried by Switch 2 the rest of the year.
No way. And here's why. Here's my counter argument. No way. No. Your counter argument is that I believe ZA is we are going to fight. ZA is the holiday game for Switch 1. I think that is the thing. There will be a Legend ZA Switch Lite. There will be a Legend ZA bundle probably for the base Switch. I think that is how they break the PS2's record this holiday season, despite Switch 2 being out, is Legend ZA. I don't think it has any problem about being buried. And in fact, I think it's probably a high likelihood that is one of the games that they showcase the difference in power between Switch 1 and Switch 2. I agree with you. I don't think there's a Switch 2 version. I think it is a Switch 1 game, no doubt about it. Will always stay a Switch 1 game because we've seen this forever with Pokemon. They did Black and White 2 when the 3DS came out. It was still on DS. They did Sun and Moon literally 8 months before the Switch came out. Everyone was like, Pokemon Stars is going to be on Switch. And they were like, sure thing, whatever. Here's Let's Go a year and a half later. Yeah. So like they don't do that ever. And I think they're planning for their big 10th generation, for the anniversary next year, for next holiday season for Switch 2. So I really do think Legend ZA is like tried and true Switch game, but I think the release date for that is like midsummer. And I think it's probably whenever we get whatever the summer direct is, that's probably going to be a blowout for Switch 2 stuff, and then also updates on Switch games that are related, Because again, they're going to keep
your counter.
Switch. Yeah.
Well, my counter is this is my prediction. So my prediction is tomorrow.
I mean, your prediction is wrong, unfortunately. So that's I want to be able to help you. I want to help you and tell you that your prediction could be better.
Well,
It's like it was good, but it could be better.
All right. Well, my prediction is the release date will be tomorrow, and I do agree that it'll be the holiday game for Switch. Absolutely, there's no reason for it not to.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's also going to be a massive holiday game for Switch 2, whatever that is, and that's what Nintendo's going to be promoting while Pokemon is trying to promote DA.
3D Mario. It's 3D Mario.
Probably
all 5 of us are in agreement. It's 3D Mario.
I will say one caveat on 3D Mario. It is possible they save it for closer to the movie. Possible.
Okay.
I
buy that.
Okay. It's still a March release. It's still.
I also still
I don't
fully
think so.
believe at some point this year there's going to be. You know how we had the 35th anniversary direct for Mario? I really think we're getting a 40th anniversary direct for Mario for sure. What they're going to do, I think that's when you might get your Galaxy 2 HD or whatever.
Yeah.
Me too.
Mario 40 on NSO.
Yeah. There you go.
I think in September is probably when we're going to have the Mario 40th.
That's when the anniversary actually is in September.
Yeah, and that's when you're going to have it. Yeah.
You think back to when they did like the 3D All Stars, that was all announced in September. Yeah, because that's when the actual anniversary is.
I think we'll get a full trailer too.
Totally agree. Yeah.
The only thing that throws me off is that because last time they did like a dedicated thing, but there was also like during COVID and some other stuff going on. I kind of feel like they're gonna have so much to talk about. It'll just be part of a direct.
Oh, easily. I mean, you're gonna have, because if you think, well,
of a direct.
No, I think it'll be its own thing, because you think about the stuff that's coming. You have Mario Kart. They're probably going to have DLC for Mario Kart moving forward. So there'll be probably the first DLC announcement for Mario Kart during that. You're going to have 3D Mario, right? That's obviously going to be coming out in the holidays. That'll be that. You'll have your Galaxy 2 HD, whatever. You'll have your new merchandise lines. You'll probably have the update for the Mario movie, because by that point there will be a trailer. That's actually in line with their last release schedule. When you would see the first trailer would be during that. So you could see that during it. The updated Lego sets that we know are coming. We know there's more Lego Mario coming. So that alone that we just mentioned, which is all stuff we pretty much know.
They'll bring a lot. They'll bring back Mario 40.
That's what the Game Bird was saying, right? Yeah, Mario 40. Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they bring the FOMO back again, and now it's Mario 3D All Stars, but in 4K on Switch 2.
Cool. Do it.
Whatever.
Can I make a quick prediction for Mario this year?
We're totally not in prediction mode right now.
No, this is a for fun prediction. This isn't serious, but I think it would be rad. New Mario comes out end of the year. It's the big Switch 2 holiday game. You know how like we used to get like cool little fun surprises after you rolled credits?
Yeah.
Sure.
A sneak peek at the Mario movie when you roll credits on the new 3D Mario.
Oh, that'd be kind of fun. Or
like
a world themed like the movie version of the Mushroom Kingdom, or like New York City or something would actually be kind of cool. Yeah,
that would be really cool.
All right, let's get to our super chatting questions right quick and get all through this before we get the heck out of here.
Wait. I haven't eaten dinner yet. I'm chilling. I've been going nonstop since 3.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's 9 p.m. now.
I'm gonna throw something in me too tonight, because bottom line is when I wake up tomorrow, it's work time.
It's gonna be rough. Yeah.
Force Fanatic says, drink some haters' tears. That's what we've been doing for those $10 super chats. Also, what is the game next week and tomorrow that would make you go, holy shit? Ooh,
Smash.
Yeah.
For me, it's Smash Brothers. Smash, Banjo, Chrono.
Mm-hmm.
A new Banjo game would make me go fucking nuts.
Yeah. A new Banjo, or what I think would be a really great way to come back to Banjo is to do a full remake of the original.
That'd be great.
Just do a full,
do like what they
modern,
did for Crash.
Beautiful remake.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll take a remake of Conker's Bad Fur
That
Day.
too. Yep.
That
Yep.
Live and Reloaded HD. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so good.
I think the game that would make me say "holy shit" the most would be Earthbound.
Oh yeah,
that's a good call. Actually,
like the most. There's a lot of games that will make me say this, but that's probably the most, right?
And it's an anniversary year for Earthbound. It's a big anniversary year in Japan. They have a whole merchandise line and stuff.
This is why I knew I was gonna bring this up. The game that would actually make me do it, and I just don't think PlayStation is going to ever bring anything really over. But the game that needs to be brought over because its sales would do fucking bonkers is Astrobot.
Mm-hmm.
I would fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
If
weird.
We have the 75 million selling console, can only sell 1.5 million of this. We dropped this on the Nintendo audience. It's like 10 million in sales.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is. Like, it's literally the perfect audience for the game. And I know we don't have all the controller functionality. So a lesser version of the game. But this is the audience that would play that particular game.
For sure.
But it also is not like their new mascot, so it's like there's no way they're going to do it. But also, it's your new mascot that doesn't sell a whole lot. So that would make me go, holy fucking shit.
That would be crazy.
And Astrobot.
I don't know how to pick a game for next week to make me go holy shit, because half my bingo card would make me go holy shit. Like, you know what I mean?
You're already shitting. So like,
right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I have nothing left in me. I don't need the Metamucil this morning. I'm good. It just came right out. That's right.
All right. Next one we have here is in the words of Nate the Hate, embrace the hate. Man, I love weeks like this when because I cover rumors and stuff, and you get shit on and shit. Think logically, Nate. You're just doing anything you want, and then Nate the Hate talk. It doesn't matter. He's not thinking logically. I mean, no, because he knows. It's a fucking direct on Thursday.
It's crazy. I feel like Puro died so Nate the Hate could live. That's how I feel. That's what happened. Nate the Hate is like, I feel like Puro was getting everything right, knew everything. And then right when Puro left, right when the world needed him most, Nate the Hate said, I'm stepping up to plate. And now it's like, we're getting it. I can plan out my weeks accordingly now.
Joey Pitts had to get a quick joke in here. So what do you call a nurse with a dirty knees? The head nurse.
Hey, Silent Hill. Wait, no, but the nurse thing, remind me. Silent Hill, I could see Silent Hill 2 actually being on Switch too. That remake did very well. People love that game. That'd be a good Konami pick. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was surprised no one put RE4 remake on their bingo card. I feel like
we talked about it earlier.
Yeah,
Thunderstash talked about it.
Yeah, I wasn't listening.
It's just a matter of which Resident Evil we're gonna get.
I mean, look,
four obviously has a history with Nintendo.
Yeah,
though,
are they? Are they going to go 2 and 3 first, and then
that's
4?
right? Yeah,
like it's just hard to pinpoint which one.
I think they jumped to 4 specifically for Nintendo,
like Yakuza, like a dragon. Like which one? Are we going to get?
Those I feel pretty confident would be Like a Dragon and Infinite Wealth. I think it would be the 2 most recent ones, and I think all the other backlogged ones, like your 2s and 3s, that seems like an eShop drop at some other random point. But I feel like. Yeah, but like Infinite Wealth and the original Like a Dragon are both huge. And Pirates in Hawaii is another one I think that's like brand new, would be, hot. People are talking about it. It's a good game. I could see them doing that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to give you Resident Evil 1 and 4 and then tell you not to worry about 2 and 3.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Doesn't matter.
Joey Pitts wanted to make up for that joke and make Thunderstash happy. But seriously, bring back Earthbound.
Please.
Yeah.
Praying hands. Plus crying, because we know it's not going to happen, but it would be amazing. Like that would be a moment. That would be a moment, because like we're live reacting. Stash is going to be with me. That would be a moment. Stash might fall to his knees.
Yeah,
in the moment, like literally, like just fall, like in. Wow.
I think if Earthbound gets announced, though, like if you want to pay the ultimate fan service, you make a call to Reggie and ask him to come announce this game.
For one special time.
He would totally do it.
He would.
He would for sure do it. My God.
It would be perfect, right?
Hi.
Wow.
This is Reggie.
He's got to have the Samus pin too, so they think he's going to talk about Metroid.
So good,
but then he does
that.
the Earthbound instead.
It would be perfect.
Oh man, I love that.
That would be
love
great.
that. I love it. Love it. Love it.
Nintenbyte Prime.
Yes.
Says bring back NBA Jam and NFL Blitz and NHL Blitz. We never talk about NHL.
NBA Jam is fantastic. One of the best arcade sports games of all time. I don't even play sports.
Absolutely.
I like basketball. I follow basketball, but NBA Jam, that's my jam. No pun intended. I want another one. Also, the one they did during like the Wii era was actually pretty good.
On Fire.
You guys remember that one? That was great.
Oh,
yeah.
Good. And just to reinforce the point, Demonic Brawler back with his single.
Let's go with the NBA Jam love. I love it.
NBA Jam, NFL Blitz, want it back. I would do. Everyone wants it.
Love it.
It needs to happen. Acclaim is back.
Mm-hmm.
Call EA up and be like, you're not doing shit with that IP. Let us make it.
Right.
Call EA up. Call Mark Turmel over at Midway.
Yes.
And make this happen.
Yes. Needs to happen. Absolutely. Kenny from the A just wanted to let us know, hey, dope stream, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Kenny.
Trying to put on a good show over here. Free my shirt hat. So a friend of mine brought a prototype of a Dolphin GameCube off eBay for like $4,000 and has it on display in his room. Dude, only $4,000?
Cool.
Oh,
I'm surprised it wasn't more. That's actually not bad.
I'd like to see a picture. That's cool.
Yeah. That's really awesome, man. Grant Creech comes in and says, here's the super chat. I promise. I'm hoping to see Metroid Prime 4 at least. Look, between tomorrow and or next week, if we don't see Prime 4, something's wrong.
Right.
Like they showed it in June of last year. We don't see it at one of the two directs.
Wow. It's prime time. We'll see it.
We gotta be prime for Prime 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is just total pure hype. By the way, Justin Richards went a little nuts. He did a 50 over on Stash's channel, dropping the 50, saying,
let's go. All right.
But see, he wasn't done because then he had to come to my channel and do the same thing.
Whoa. Let's go, Justin.
Justin, thank you. I'm so sorry. Was I presenting when you did this?
Yeah, you were presenting. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see that. Thank you so much. That is awesome, man.
Wow.
I appreciate that.
Justin Richard, thank you for the support. We really do appreciate you
Awesome.
getting the show. Multiple channels. It's awesome. Bobby comes in, says, I really appreciate the recap of all these iconic games. Going back to our first topic, my confidence in Nintendo taking the reins this gen is as high as it's ever been. I gotta say, I don't know how it can't be. Nintendo had a game published every month of the entire Switch generation until today. Who does that?
No one.
Literally no
Nintendo.
one. There's nobody else who does that.
Unprecedented.
Like, and if they keep it going while still throwing bones to Switch, I don't even. What are we doing?
The whole thing used to be it was like Sega does what Nintendo don't, right? That was the whole thing with like the Sega. And now it's literally like Nintendo don't mess with Nintendo is literally what it is. That's literally because there's nothing, nobody comes close. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. They're out.
Yeah.
I can't. Damn. And on budgets, like they don't even go crazy high budgets in most of their games. I don't even get it. Anthony Cat, my gift subs announcement is including tomorrow's direct for Star Fox Zero. Ooh.
Oh, I read that as Star Fox F-Zero, as in Star Fox.
That's how I wrote it.
As in the game I made up. That's what I thought that's what about. I was like, are they making a Star Fox Grand Prix reference? Like, what's going on?
Maybe they're saying a Star Fox and F-Zero now.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, Star Fox is one of the last games we haven't got from Wii U yet, if you want to talk about ports.
Yeah.
And look, there's been an FX GX remaster rumor forever.
I mean, that'd be a hell of a crossover.
Love that. Heck yeah, dude. That'd be sick.
That would be a crazy crossover.
They had, it's literally canon to Star Fox. At the end of Star Fox Command, in one of the bad endings, Fox becomes a drunk and enters the F-Zero Grand Prix with Falco. That's literally a canon ending of Star Fox Command.
It is.
So,
it is. Yeah. There you go. It's the best ending.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't know. Him drunk driving in the F-Zero races is probably not the best end for Star Fox, I feel.
We're not talking about it being a good role model.
Well, I guess.
I'm talking about my entertainment. I'm entertained.
Right.
Jorge FT comes in. Considering Nate the Hate's recent video and the recent rumors, what do you think is up with Metroid Prime 4 if it's not shown in the upcoming directs?
It's dead then. I mean, it's dead. Yeah.
If it's not shown, I don't think it's dead because they finally showed
in either direct. I think if it's not shown in either direct, Retro Studios is gone. It makes no sense.
There's been a massive delay to 2026. That would be number one.
Bro.
And that would mean there is major issues at Retro Studios. Which, by the way, there's people that already think there are because how long it's taken them to get a game out. Their project before this clearly didn't go through and got canned. So it's
but I want to clarify. I feel like what probably happened is that they were probably working on another project.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think Nintendo said, look, what Bandai is making with Metroid Prime 4 is not up to our standards. We need you. And they probably had to shutter what their project was because Nintendo needed them for Metroid Prime 4. And they were like, all right, well, we got to get back in the groove of things. Like, let's do Prime Remastered and like put the assets together so we could make this. And that's how Prime Remastered came into being. And that's where all these rumors about Prime 2 and stuff were, right? Because their best way, because again, the majority of the team that made that first game is not there anymore.
Yep.
Like they needed to get the new people in charge and working on it. So what is this? Care Bears HD and Heathcliff HD? What is this? That's what they were working on. Heathcliff, Orville Redenbacher, Brokeback Mountain, and Gem and the Holograms, and Care Bears and Colonel Sanders. What is this? These are all the different ideas of what Retro Studios was working on. Yeah.
Pizza
exactly.
Hut Simulator.
Look, I mean,
Right.
bottom line is if Metro Prime 4 is not in either direct, there's serious problems, and
That's a huge issue.
That's actually really bad news.
Yeah.
That could mean like Retro Studios getting closed down in some.
Yeah, I mean that's literally what I think it would mean. If we did not see it in either direct, I would say it's a safe bet then Retro is gone.
Yeah, because that means that Nintendo wasn't happy with the final product and said, "No,
Right.
we're done."
Right, but they clearly are because we saw it. I mean, we're in a world now where we've seen gameplay and it
They
looks
literally
good,
would
so.
have shown it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see what happens. And plus, like then Kiwi Talks, that guy would look real dumb. Game of show, not even shown.
Not even shown. Yeah, right.
That one looked too good. Tamagotchi Life and Yoshi Woolly Reports says Pokemon fan. That'd be nice.
Tomodachi Life, I actually think is one of them that falls in that category of like the small first party IP that could be there at launch for Switch 2. I think that seems like it fits a cozy games kind of niche. Is your sort of me title? I could see that happening. Yeah.
I've been seeing that one brought up a lot too by people.
People love it.
Tomodachi Life. So
yeah.
People been wanting it since we got the Miitomo port.
Yeah. Real quick, also, one thing we didn't mention during the whole Switch prediction thing for tomorrow for the Direct, something that I feel is a definite lock, and none of us brought it up, so I have to bring it up. Deltarune, the new chapter of Deltarune.
Yeah.
Deltarune Chapter 3 and Chapter 4. He's been working on that for a long time. They traditionally have shadow dropped those during Nintendo Directs. There was a Twitter account that's like how many days until Deltarune, and yesterday they tweeted out the number 1. They just tweet 1 every single day, and that tweet was then liked and shared by Toby Fox. So to me,
wow,
1 day away, that's pretty much
I've seen a lot of people bring up that Deltarune is going to be tomorrow. It's pretty safe. Go to 816. Also in the same vein of that Nate Dates says, what do you guys think about Nate Dates' theory that Metro Prime 4 will not be shown in the Switch 1 Direct? He says because they will have to announce the release date. And that's essentially announcing the Switch 2 release date early because obviously they thought that Metro Prime 4 is a launch game for Switch 2. Mm-hmm. Look, it's entirely possible they don't show Metro Prime 4 tomorrow. Absolutely. They could be saving it for Switch 2.
Yeah.
Totally. Like they don't have to show it tomorrow. I mean, if it's not in tomorrow's Direct, then it is because it's in the Switch 2 Direct.
Switch 2, right? Exactly. Yeah.
I'm still in the camp that it's not tomorrow. I've been pretty vocal on our predictions over the last couple months that I think they want to showcase this game, do a blowout on Switch 2 and show what it's capable of. But we'll see.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. We honestly don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, if we did, we'd be famous quick.
Yeah, right.
Sky Dennis. Hey, Ninty, what about that supposed Ocarina of Time remake? Do you think it's possible of seeing it tomorrow or in the Switch 2 Direct? I want to be clear. I don't think an Ocarina of Time remake is going to Switch 1.
No way.
That would be Switch 2. And that would be for 2026 with, kind of leading into the movie in 2027 probably. So that's when I think if it exists. I know there's been, me and Andres Restar have gone over a lot of evidence over time where Aonuma has this thing where he keeps sort of teasing the next big remake and he just keeps doing it. And he's been doing it for like a decade. Yeah. And he's dropped a number of teases for an Ocarina of Time one. It wouldn't shock me, and it wouldn't shock me that they're taking their time on this because this would be one of their biggest undertakings if they did do it. And Aonuma actually did work on the original game and want to make sure it's done right, even if it's not done directly by the Zelda team. Say it's Tantalus or somebody else who did it. So yeah, it's one of those things that the evidence says it's happening because Aonuma was literally asked. I'll just give you the biggest evidence. He was asked directly in an interview with Tears of the Kingdom, "Are you remaking Ocarina of Time?" And he just laughed and said, "No comment."
Right.
Like,
I mean, it's like, one and done.
What was it? There was some Zelda game he was asked, well, then are you remaking this? And he said, no. I'm like, so what are you doing saying no?
Right. Yeah. Of course.
So that's evidence.
It's too big of a deal to leave so vague and not give a no and just give a no comment and a laugh where people want it so bad. Like the thought of that, it would be so huge. It's such a big deal.
Yeah.
It would also be fascinating, because we brought up the idea of like Miyamoto having a game present in the Switch 2 Direct. What like a full circle moment if like the last game that he ever directs is actually directing the remake of the game that he directed would be pretty amazing, because like Aonuma is like the guy. He's been the guy moving forward. He's the one in charge of the Zelda franchise, but he's not the director every time.
Yeah.
He's producing it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like bringing back Miyamoto to direct an Ocarina of Time remake.
It would be wild. It would be
Jaw-dropping,
wild if they have like next week they have Onuma on screen. Everyone's like, "Oh shit, it's Zelda." We know it's Zelda, right?
Right.
And it's just like, "Hold on, I got to bring my friend out real quick." And
Right.
then Miyamoto walks on, unsheathes
Woo!
sword,
Man.
and you're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah.
Pan shot of Hyrule in Ocarina of Time.
Man.
It's clearly Ocarina of Time, and there's Link on the horse just running in the background,
Mhm.
and you're do. You're like,
Da-da-da. Yeah.
It's like what?
And
the
that's all they have to show. That's all
it.
they have to
Yeah.
show. Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone's
you
crying.
literally do just have
on
Hyrule Field
stream.
with the horse, and that's it. You're good. Yeah.
The remake of Ocarina of Time is now in development, and everyone's crying. Everyone's shedding tears.
Man.
Oh man, and yeah, bringing Miyamoto on for that would be obviously big, just a full circle moment because that was his basically farewell to Zelda was Ocarina of Time. So.
Yeah.
Boom any. What are the main differences between Xenoblade Chronicles Trilogy and Xenoblade Chronicles X? Who wants to take this one?
I got to.
Right.
Xenoblade Chronicles X, you could play completely on its own, has nothing to do with the other games. There are like Easter eggs and teases and things, but you don't need to play the other games to enjoy it. Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, and 3 can all be enjoyed as their own stories. You get more out of 3 if you've played 1 and 2. 1 and 2 are pretty much entirely separate. 2 references 1, but again, you don't need to have played 1 to understand anything of 2 because they're parallel universes, both doing a separate thing. 3 combines both of them, and again, even that is kind of its own story, and the parallel universe like combination stuff doesn't even come to play until the DLC, which is Future Redeemed, which you absolutely should play because it makes Xenoblade Chronicles 3 a significantly better game. That's your answer.
And 4 is the only one that matters.
4
I'll just say this: Xenoblade Chronicles X is my favorite of all the games.
That's
And it
funny.
literally is completely standalone. You don't have to play anything.
Totally
else.
standalone. Yeah.
But yeah, great stuff. All right. Keithius LG, that was the one that just got to the beer. Thank you so much, buddy. P Dubs 88 comes in and says, "What about a major tentpole game to transition like Sony did with Spider-Man? Like, how many copies of Mario Kart 9 would they sell if they put it on both systems? A lot. I mean, the answer is a lot. There's no, but I also feel like Nintendo isn't like Sony. How many times do they have to keep saying games sell systems?
Right.
So putting Mario Kart 9 on the original Switch would actually hurt
Significantly. Yeah, of course.
because they're not talking about sales right now. They're thinking the next decade for Mario Kart 9. So they're not worrying about, they're not Sony trying to, hey, our games aren't evergreen, so we got to get as many sales as we can month one. Nintendo's like, no, this is Mario Kart. It's going to be the number one seller for like the next 5 years. Well, GTA 6 will probably be the number one, but it'll be up in the top 5 for the next 5 years, and it'll be a top 10 holiday seller for the next 8 holidays. Like Nintendo's thinking long. They think the long game because they're one of the few, actually the only platform holder that has an extreme amount of evergreen titles. Like Xbox, do they even have one besides Minecraft? Minecraft's probably it.
Yeah.
I mean, Call of Duty, sort of, but they release a new one every year.
Gears a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a while, it was Gears.
Yeah, Gears. But like, they just don't have a lot of those tentpole, long-selling games. I mean, Zelda was never one until Breath of the Wild. So Nintendo just, there's no way because they want to push as many Switch 2s as possible for the next 8 years. They're going to phase out Switch. They're still going to support Switch, but something that's that big.
I mean, I think this is already answered by Metroid, though, right? With like a major tentpole game that's your transition between consoles is like Metroid could totally be that. Right, where it's on both. Yeah, for sure. Like the Twilight Princess situation.
Bottom line is like Metroid hasn't ever really been a huge seller. The best
exactly right
and
because
so
it's niche.
And Metroid's never been evergreen. And if you're not really confident this is going to change the evergreen status, then you just want it to as many consumers as possible day one.
Exactly. Yep.
So, let's see here. Stop. Get on my way. Karkun says, Silk Song, sure, but Hades 2 tomorrow or next week?
You said it.
I mean, it makes sense. Indie games do so well. The big ones especially do so well on Nintendo. Like, even with Silk Song going to Game Pass, I totally see the release date being announced this director or the next.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because it's going to, even with Game Pass, it's probably still going to sell best on Nintendo. It just is what it is. But there is that thing that they got to check from Microsoft, so maybe it gets saved for a Microsoft event. It happens. You sometimes you give the news to the one who wrote the check. Plucky 69. Wave Race and Pilot Wings HD remakes for Switch 2.
Nice.
Just
bad I want that.
I loved the Pilot Wings idea you brought up, Thunderstash, with it being a tie-in with Flight Simulator. I'm like, that's actually kind of brilliant. They could totally do that. Like
Right?
Flight Simulator Nintendo Edition and have Pilot Wings stuff. Yeah.
It would
Or
increase
have an
the
R-Wing.
sales. Yeah, it would increase the sales of both IP, I think.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
they could even have like an R-Wing come in from Star Fox.
That's what I'm saying, man. There could be your Star Foxes. You have the R-Wing. You're flying it around. Yeah.
Be hilarious if they had like a Tears of the Kingdom flying machine in it.
just a giant penis. A giant penis that someone made with all the different Tears of the Kingdom parts, and it's flying around in Flight Simulator.
People would buy it. I'm just saying.
Unfortunately, people would.
Unfortunately.
I guarantee you, Nintendo hated that.
Oh, I think of course they did.
Like there
Of
was
course.
so much wiener on Twitter when that game came out.
God.
Like I remember seeing that. I'm like, oh, dude, Nintendo hates this so much right now.
Game Zero, there was a giant robot with a flaming dick. I'm like, dude,
Yeah, I remember.
like Nintendo, they knew it was gonna happen. What are you gonna do? Like you can't stop
It's definitely
creativity.
TTP, time to penis. It doesn't take long for that to happen.
That's funny.
Karka and said Golden Sun remake 3D, please, for Switch 2. I mean, my lord.
It'd be cool.
Just tug at my heartstrings.
Mhm.
I would like a new Golden Sun, but like if you want to start with a remake, I'm cool with that.
Be super cool. Yeah, get it back in the zeitgeist. People will talk about it.
We have the Dark Void came in and said no one put Alan Wake 2 or Psychonauts 2 on their bingo
Psychonauts
cards.
would be awesome.
Alan Wake is a great one. It's Alan Wake 2. I mean, phenomenal game, but one that also kind of struggled in the sales department. That game deserves more life. I think
I would
Switch
like
2
a
would be
second life on Switch
fantastic
2.
for that.
I'd love
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And Psychonauts 2 is just really fun. I don't know if you guys
Psychonauts
played it.
collector
It is so fun. I mean, I'd like to
collection?
see a combo pack.
combo pack.
I think would be great for that.
Mhm.
Really, really love that. Let's see here. Wii U game, Animal Crossing, Call of Duty, Paper Mario, a sport.
Mario
Yes.
Baseball, maybe. I could see happening tomorrow. That'd be kind of
Yeah.
cool.
It's been brought up before.
Mhm.
Paper Mario. We just had Thousand Year Door. A new one, I feel like, is probably going to happen. We get new ones. Maybe they even based off Thousand Year Door. But I feel like that's a future announcement down the line in the system. Animal Crossing. That is something. Some people have that on their bingo card. Because again, there's this thought process that this could be a long supported game, unlike the last one. Which will make it more evergreen. And I think you're muted or something happened, Rogers. I don't know what's going on. Your audio dropped. I don't know. It was just working. I don't think you touched anything.
Did your headset die?
I don't know if it's a headset. I don't know what he's talking through. Well, we will just pretend that he is still here. I mean, we can see him physically trying to talk. There's just no audio. I don't know what happened. Legendary Bastard came in and said, "You guys think they'll announce a price cut for Nintendo Switch tomorrow?" Ooh, that's a good one.
Good question.
That's a very good question. Would they dare do it before the Switch 2 Direct? It would make sense.
Roger, not if you think so.
He's literally confused. I don't know why my mic stopped working. He's like, this makes no sense. Why did it crash?
Yeah, I mean the lights in his headset are still
I think
on.
I got
so-
it. Testing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh, there you are.
Can you hear
Good.
me?
You're
Yeah.
good. Yeah, we can
Yes.
hear you. So what were your thoughts on that
Can't
last
hear you
question?
now.
Oh,
speaking of you.
Oh.
Well, one way or
There we go.
another.
Got it. We're good.
beautiful.
I got worried for a moment. I'm like, oh my God, if my stuff ended up dying, 8 hours before I need it.
You're like, oh my God, a 24-hour store. I wasn't
I'd
to
be
eat and go to bed.
screaming,
What's
man.
going
Oh my goodness.
on? Anyways, do you think they'll announce a price cut for tomorrow?
No.
Andrew?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Hey,
It's holiday season.
I
think
think
that's
they
holiday
announced
season
a
coinciding
price
with-
cut. Yep,
Yeah.
I agree.
With Pokemon.
Let
for sure.
Switch 2 come out. Let
Yep.
it do its thing. Holiday comes up. They're gonna have their Switch 2 bundles, and guess what? We're dropping $100 off the price of Switch.
Like I could even see them doing something where they bundle Legend ZA with for the price of what the Switch was before. And then it's like, which is a significant price drop when it's like the brand new Pokemon game that's coming out and like a limited edition console or something, you know, because they always do that with Pokemon. They did that with Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl with the Switch Lite. They did it with,
That'd be pretty cool.
what was the other one? Let's Go, right? Didn't they have like a Let's Go Eevee set that they did with Pikachu and Eevee? So they'll probably end up doing the same thing. Yeah.
That'd actually probably be a cool looking Switch as well. Green and black.
For sure. Yeah. Green and black would look cool.
Okay, I'm trying to bring something. I'm gonna skip to the next super chat because this one requires I have to look at something quick. Nicholas Redenauer says, "How many, if any, of you have or are currently invested in Nintendo?"
And I mean,
Me.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's my only thing on my Robinhood app. It's literally the only thing that
I had one at one point and I sold it. I made some money back. There's part of me that wants to buy another one just to say, hey, I have one.
See, I bought this. I'll tell you when I bought it. I bought it when I finally had a little extra income that I could spend during the worst of the Wii U era. And I just kept it. And I just let it sit there. And I bought like a pretty significant amount. And I just bought it and I left it. And now I'm just letting it ride. So I'm waiting until I'm like, keep those skyrockets all the way up and then I'll
baby.
Exactly. That's right. That's right.
All right. So this is the one that I had to take a second. Free Metro Hat said he sent me a picture of that Dolphin GameCube. He did send me a picture of it. So let's show this bad boy off.
Oh yeah.
Look at this. Hide this quick here. There it is. Oh, baby.
Whoa. What the heck? That's cool.
That is not something you see every day.
Wow. That's like a dev kit. That's like
a dev kit.
Wow. Wow. How did he get that? What the heck?
Yeah, they're not supposed to be sold.
I'm like,
that's badass.
That is such a cool thing to collect, though.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Doug. Yeah,
and
I'm on
if
this
it works
podcast right now. This guy said that he has a dev kit. It's like of the Dolphin. Yeah. I know. I really do want to keep my spot.
Yeah, we're moving it.
Experiences. I'm just like, oh, hold on. Oh, they're back on. Hold on. I think you're listening.
Oh shit.
No,
Bowser's Fury.
I'm not going to tell them about Silk Song. Don't worry. All right. Bye-bye. Okay. Let's go.
We just need the ninjas to come in and take it from them and then give it to me.
Yeah, right. All right, here's the last super chat we have at the moment. It comes from Booman. He says, any chance we get a Link to the Past remake in 2026 or the 30th anniversary of its original release and then an Ocarina of Time remake in 2028? So
have they ever remade Link to the Past?
No,
they haven't.
No, it's been on my radar too as like an upcoming possible
I think
HD 2D.
Fresno could be working on.
Oh,
possibly.
Bro, you just said HD 2D?
Yeah. It's been on my radar, I swear to you, for a long time. Because I'm like,
both
that and Ocarina, they're both due.
And if it had like orchestrated music, oh my goodness, great.
Yeah.
I would rather them do that though. If they did an HD 2D Link to the Past with orchestrated music.
I've already played it with orchestrated music, the game. Literally, like I reviewed it.
Oh, you played you had the music. You put the music next to it when you were playing.
No, it's a Super Nintendo CD game.
What?
Yeah, I reviewed it on my channel. Yeah, badass.
I'm gonna look this up right now. Hold on.
It has over 120 fully orchestrated tracks. I played it on my surround sound. It was badass. It was so. Wait.
Is this like an actual official thing?
No.
Oh, okay. When you were like orchestrated, I'm like, there's an official orchestrated Zelda soundtrack by Nintendo that has 100-something songs in it. I'm like, what?
Yeah, but if you played it, you wouldn't know the difference. Yeah, it's very cool, very well done, and it would have been for the Super Nintendo CD add-on. It's using the same technology.
So
that's so cool.
Here's my thoughts, Boomany, and you're not gonna. Well, look, I think both are happening. To be clear, I don't think Nintendo's going to do it because of anniversaries. I just had these nightmares of the 35th anniversary and they did nothing. So, I mean, technically we got a Game & Watch. Woo!
Cool.
So here's the thing. I look at the way Nintendo did their releases. Their last Zelda game was Echoes of Wisdom. So I think their next one's going to be a 3D one. So that's Ocarina of Time. And I think that one's going to be more around movie time. And I don't think 2028 makes sense because I think 2028, 2029, that they're talking all about the new 3D Zelda at that point. But then I think after Ocarina of Time remake comes out, that's when like a Grezzo, a Link to the Past remake will be ready to go. So I think
Sure.
both will happen before the next 3D Zelda game. I just think Ocarina of Time will be first, just because it'll go in every year, and then you hit the Link to the Past, and then you get the big new 3D Zelda game.
I think that makes sense. And I think if they remake A Link to the Past, I don't think it's going to have that signature Grezzo art style that we've seen in the Link's Awakening remake, as well as Echoes of Wisdom. That kind of diorama toy figurine kind of look. It'll be something fresh.
Absolutely.
I think it might be a little darker too. Not just because of
I'd
the
love
dark
that.
world,
Yeah.
but I think it will have a darker tone to it, because that is kind of the tone of the game. Link's Awakening is not a super dark tone. Like the graphics match well.
Do you think they keep the pink hair?
I think they should.
Oh, they should
Yeah,
for
I think so, too.
nostalgia
For
reasons.
nostalgia,
Yeah, definitely.
Or at least like a toggle in the menu. You know? If they want to make it more modern, then put the classic toggle in there.
With these remakes, right? Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time, I do wonder if Nintendo's decision on which one to go with has any tie-in with the movie. With the plot.
Yeah, like which story they're adapting. Yeah, for sure.
Like which one will best represent the movie.
Yeah, no idea. That's the thing, we don't know.
We don't know.
Anything. It exists.
But I think one of those though would best represent it.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Those two.
Absolutely agree.
Awesome. Well, that is it for the Q&A, it looks like. So I want to thank everyone for all that support. We do appreciate you guys supporting the show.
Very good. I can go eat.
I knew there was a shot the show could go long the moment they announced the direct today.
Oh, for sure. We knew it was going to be a long one.
2.5-hour show, and then they announced the direct. I'm like, well, fuck.
There's another hour.
There's another hour at least.
Oh, man.
Anyways, I want to thank everyone who was here. Let's go around the room quick, let people know what we got going on and where they can find you. Let's start with our guest, Rogers Base.
Sure, you can find me everywhere. Rogers Base, ROGERSBASE on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, and on Instagram, on Blue Sky, everything. I'm on everything. And obviously, I'll be live tomorrow morning starting at 6:45 a.m. reacting to the Nintendo Direct. I cannot wait. And then, I'm going to be on the HMK Fifth Dimension show with you again, literally 48 hours from now. So it's going to be a lot of me this week.
Yeah, a lot of me too. 3 podcasts in a row for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, it's gonna be wild. I think Austin John Plays is on that one on Friday too. I can't remember.
We got a good group.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big group.
And as always, thank you for having me. This is
no problem. And as always, I'll be reaching out tomorrow for you to tell me to contact you in August. Gamebird.
Gamebird Classic here. You guys can find me as Gamebird Classic on YouTube. I make Nintendo content. I also do a lot of weird, goofy Nintendo skits. I've got one brewing that I'm really excited about for next week for April 2nd. But yeah, check me out. It's a fun time. If you like a little bit of funny and you like Nintendo, I think you'll like my channel.
That's what we're talking about. I like it. Eric Moore.
Yep, I'm here.
There you go. Every Wednesday. That's
much.
it. That's it.
He's like, this is where you can find me.
Yeah, that's it. It's just right here on the show every week. Maybe a little bit more when we go to PAX East. You might be in a few more of those videos there. But
There you go.
And I'm here tomorrow.
Yeah. We have a podcast tomorrow. That's right. Thunderstash Gaming.
Yep. You can find me on YouTube at Thunderstash Gaming, and then on Twitter at Thunderstash YT. And yes, I review video games, new and retro games for all consoles. I'm currently working on Assassin's Creed Shadows. Been working on it since a few days before it came out. Ubisoft was nice enough to give me a code. Thank you to Ubisoft. I'm having a very good time with it, but this is a very long game. This is a game that I think we all know they can't be rushed, right? Like I could rush and review it, but I don't do that. Yeah, I want to play through the whole thing, run the credits, do the side quests, do everything. So that's what I'm working on. But at the same time, we have a very busy week. We'll be up tomorrow morning for the live stream. We have the podcast. I'm on Mike Odyssey's podcast on Friday, and then people will hit me up too to be on their podcast just on Twitter, and sometimes I'll jump on with somebody else. So it could be even busier than that. And I'm just I get a little tired thinking about it, but I'm really excited for it.
My predictions video, I ended it as being like, dude, I don't even know what the fuck's gonna happen. I don't even know how I'm gonna survive, but it's gonna happen.
Oh, dude, that's next week for me. Now, I'm going from I'm literally flying to New York for the fan experience stuff
Yeah.
that's happening that weekend.
Mm.
Then I fly direct from New York. So I literally fly to New York right after the direct. I have the direct. I have Japan time with my podcast. And then that evening, I fly out, have an overnight flight, transfer in Phoenix, get to New York. Fan experience Friday, Saturday. I fly out on Sunday, land in Chicago. I'm hosting the Japan time panel at C2E2 in Chicago that Friday. Fly back on Saturday to be here for the LA fan experience on Sunday. It's crazy. Yeah. All within the next 2 weeks. Yeah.
Absolutely wild, man. Yeah. So
Make sure you hydrate.
Oh, I will. I'm going to be filling this thing up constantly. This is going to be with me to all my travels. Yeah.
So you guys know what I do at this point. I just talk about Nintendo news every single day. I'm really looking forward to getting past the rumors every day. I love rumors. I love leaks. But, man, nothing beats real news on
That's
real
right.
video games.
I know OJ agrees with you for sure. Definitely.
Yeah. So, yeah, you guys know where to find me at this point. I'm Nintendo Prime everywhere. We're like, it's busy. I think any Nintendo content creator is super busy right now.
Yep.
We have a live stream tomorrow morning. Me and Stash are going to be reacting. We got the podcast again, a bonus episode tomorrow night. So we'll be right back doing the same thing tomorrow night. And then again, I'm on the Fifth Dimension podcast on Friday, which just got even bigger because there's a direct. We were just supposed to talk about the Switch 2 direct. Now we got a whole other direct to talk about.
Yep.
So that's gonna be wild. We see Rogers face there. Always nice to see a friendly face. Hopefully,
Likewise.
do more traveling during the Switch 2 generation. I might bump into him at a few more events.
Yeah.
And then obviously we got the Switch 2 stuff next week. I'd like to say I'm taking the weekend off, but we have a direct, so now I don't know if the weekend off is a thing.
I don't think it's happening.
And then we have the Switch 2 stuff next week. We have a direct for that. We have a huge live reaction show for it as well. Man, it just is what it is. I can't even tell you what's going to happen after April 2nd because April 2nd has to get here. That sets up everything else. So, and I unfortunately did not get into the fan experience thing.
Oh, man.
Sucks. Yeah. I even had some friends work really hard to talk to Nintendo employees and try to get, they were really strict about it this time, which is totally fine, as they should be. But I was really hoping I could just maybe slip in. Waitlist as well. It didn't really work out. It's cool. Yeah. It is what it is. Hopefully I had this fringe hope that maybe PAX East, cross my fingers, Nintendo brings it there because they'll be done with all the fan experiences in the US at that point, so they could just kind of converge it all to PAX East. Well, we'll see.
A pretty high likelihood of that, I believe.
Yeah.
In fact, one last prediction for you. How about that? I think tomorrow during the direct, they might announce that they're going to do Nintendo Live again this year at PAX.
Oh, that would be nice.
Because I believe when they first announced that they were bringing it to one of the PAX events, that was also during a Nintendo Direct. And I could see that because that gets around saying anything about Switch 2, but addresses that there might be an upcoming Nintendo.
Yeah. What do they do it at PAX East or PAX West? I'll go to either one. I don't care.
Yeah.
Sweet. One last super chat came in. The floodgates. Oh, dude.
The floodgates. Yeah.
That's right.
This is what we've been building towards. I mean, since May of last year when Furukawa dropped the tweet that Switch 2 is going to be news before the end of the fiscal year. So like that, but then even the rumors on top, the NVIDIA leaks back in 2022.
Everything.
People feel like it's been building even longer than that because they try to lump Switch Pro as the same thing. It's not the same thing, but I understand because we kind of went from Switch Pro into Switch 2 leaks, so I get it. It feels like we've been waiting forever, but folks, the wait's almost over, baby.
That's right.
Whoa! We're going to get some footage of a game at a camera angle superimposed in like we did in the Switch. We're actually going to see direct feed footage. And by the way, guys, even that direct feed footage, guess what? There'll be even higher quality footage on Nintendo's press site after that. Everyone's going to grab and use the better quality stuff because the live stream stuff's always a little bit lower quality. It's going to be so exciting. I can't wait. I mean, oh my God, it feels like this is a moment because I've never got to celebrate the launch of a Nintendo system with any other Nintendo fans before.
Oh, wow.
Never happened.
This is your first one?
Yes.
Ooh.
So this is big.
Don't forget bingo.
Big for me. Yeah, there's a bingo thing on. It's been pinned the whole time. We talked about it earlier. We were talking about it every single day.
People.
I have to remind. Now you can remind them. We only had 5 cards submitted so far. So hey, high likelihood if you submit a bingo card at some point in the next few days, you might win because only 5 people. 5 people are in. But you know what? We'll be talking about it tomorrow and every single day. By the time we get done with it, there'll be hundreds. It is what it is. And I know some of you are waiting for that direct tomorrow to fill out your card.
Right, to see exactly what's not in there. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, by the way, wait for the direct tomorrow.
That is smart.
So I can understand right now. A lot of people, I saw people talking in the chat. I can't fill it out. I gotta wait till tomorrow. I get it.
Mhm.
You got time.
That's right.
I would be waiting too because you can win something here. Something on the line.
Yep.
That's right.
All right. We'll catch you guys same time tomorrow night. I was about to say next week, but I'm like, wait, no, it's tomorrow night.
Tomorrow.
And then tomorrow morning,
yeah.
Oh,
Tomorrow
yeah,
morning,
exactly.
when
Yeah.
I end
See
the
you in
stream,
7 hours.
it'll-
7 hours.
It'll literally boot you guys over to tomorrow's stream. So let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, it's good to bed.